A world where Carolina Panthers fans have an insatiable thirst for Panthers news and opinions. Only one podcast roars ferociously. It's the C3 Panthers Podcast.
What's the deal, Panther fans? It's your boy, the Professor, a.k.a. Tony Dunn. Don't call me by my name. Let's just talk about this game. The Panthers fall 24-16 in Green Bay. It's tough. It was a tough one. We were, you didn't have too many expectations involved. I hear a little echo, so if anybody's got the show playing in the background, you got to turn it down. But, we didn't have tremendous expectations, and the snow and the cold weather's coming out here, and all of a sudden the Panthers made it a game. They made a game down to the end. You watched it to the end. Even my homeboys were coming in late to the show. Cody Lashney, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing okay, man. Honestly, my expectations were kind of exceeded tonight.
Yes.
I feel proud of a lot of the guys on this team, but there's no such thing as a moral victory, Tony Dunn. And on a day where the Atlanta Falcons of all teams pulled out a win against the Saints, man, we really needed today. And even though the officiating was terrible, there was a lot of ugly. And we're going to talk about it all. And we have the best Panthers chat room on YouTube. Panthers Forever James, Daryl Beaveridge, Underground West, 10 Tizzy, Michael Wade, front seven best in the game, Tony Dunn. Ain't nothing to it but to do it, brother. Let's roll.
CK in the house. Next week we heading to the game, ain't it? Ain't that right?
Yes. And let's hope it's a different outcome because that would be a depressing drive home.
Yes. Well, you know what? It'll make for good talk, though. There's a difference between a depressing game. I'm actually uplifted by this one.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you that.
I wouldn't go that far, but I hear you.
Well, all right. Okay, yeah. All right. Let's save it for the show. Greg, the Bat Daddy 52 in here. How you doing?
Man, my heart hurts, brother. Like it's like you were saying. I think this is a good measuring stick for what a good loss would be. But man, it still hurts. And I got a lot to talk about this game. So let's go ahead and get into it.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us this evening after this loss. Even though it's a loss, we're going to be here chopping it up. Go ahead and smash the thumbs up button. Be a part of the show by calling in 252-228-5098. That's right. Call in the Cat Calls line. The number's 252-228-5098. There's some I Stand With Cam shirts available. There's some Keep Pounding and London shirts that are still available. You can find those at CarolinaCatChronicles.com. And you can follow me on Twitter at @cat_chronicles. Please subscribe to the show. Share it with a friend. That's how we grow. That's how we grow Panther Nation. Guys, we fell today. And I want to say that, Cody, let's start with this question. As I said that there's a lot to be uplifted about this game. And then you said, no, there wasn't. And then I remembered, our rushing defense sucks a big fat D. Is there a worse rushing defense in the history of football than the Carolina Panthers right now? How are they so bad, Cody?
I don't know. I mean, this is apparently Ron Rivera took back over the defense, and this is supposed to be his calling card. And again, on the road in prime time, our defense just has no answer for whatever their offense wanted to do. And I think this game echoed something that I've been saying for a long time. Whenever our defense makes a stand, it's because our guys made plays. Gerald McCoy, after getting absolutely fucked with no lube on that call, came up and made a big boy play. Dante Jackson made some big boy plays. Trey Boston prevented an interception at one point in time. So it goes back to what I said. We have the talent on the football team, and when they do make plays, they look great. But as always, the opposing offense can pretty much game plan and do whatever they want against Ron Rivera's defense. They ran the ball all down our throat. We had no answer for their rush attack, and when they did want to throw the football, we did not have consistent pressure on the quarterback. We were not getting home. Not enough hits, not enough sacks. Frankly, that's
not fast enough either. Not enough. Not fast enough.
That's why I'm a little proud of our offense. I mean,
you should be. They were the story of today, Cody.
Well, but there's no such thing as a moral victory, and Kyle Allen has done very well for a backup quarterback, and I'm proud of him, and I'm happy that he fought and clawed at the very end to keep us in the football game at the very end. But this defense is bad, and it's like everyone on our team has forgotten how to tackle. And that's 100% on coaching. I'll say that forever.
I know. It doesn't make sense. I never understood how you could say tackling is on coaching.
Because you have to drill that for 5 fucking days before the
You can do that all you want.
You can't. I know. It's the same conversation we always have.
Yeah, you're right.
Come on, man. It's the same fucking thing every week.
Go ahead, Greg. Tell them what it's like to have children.
It's ridiculous. Fuck them kids, not yours.
Look,
all the
fuck them kids. Yeah.
Cody, you can't say that every time the defense did well, it was because of the players, and every time they did bad, it was because of the coaching.
So why is it never fixed?
That's
why is it never fixed? All right, so then
because everybody's sorry. Everybody's sorry. If you can't tackle, I'm telling you this, Cody. You're adding. All right, I'm gonna put the kibosh on this. We're not going down this rabbit hole.
I hear you.
But the real point is, I will put the kibosh on it, Cody. By this, is we're in the NFL. If you don't know how to tackle by the time you get at the NFL, don't give me that shit. When you get to college and you be like, I didn't know I was supposed to put a period on the end of my sentence.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on. They're supposed to be able to tackle.
That's the teacher's
fault. Big shout out to Ross Gould.
If they're doing it,
is.
They're doing it. No, it's not. If they're doing it every fucking Sunday, they're not wrapping up. They're not making tackles.
Cut them all. You're going to cut them all?
Putting an emphasis on that, man. They're going to tell me that our entire football team doesn't know how to wrap up and tackle. Come on, man.
What can the coach do, Cody?
Obviously not.
The history of the fucking world.
What would you do?
The dumbest shit in the world.
Cody,
let me ask you. That pass to Devontae Adams, that was an amazing catch. Where Ross Cockrell was in position and didn't make the play. What could the coaches have done in that situation?
Okay, but you're going to tell me that it's that many different times? It wasn't just Ross Cockrell.
You're saying it's that many different times.
No, right, and that's my point. Eric Reed isn't wrapping up.
CK, bring some sanity to
Dante
this.
Jackson
no way. Okay,
isn't wrapping up when he's tackling.
I love you, Cody,
come on, dude.
I disagree with that.
The nail on this shit. Our entire team did not figure how to tackle. Go ahead, CK.
Yeah,
let's get a common enemy here. Let's get a common enemy here. Let's all agree that the refs are fucking garbage.
They're terrible.
Oh my gosh, yes.
The NFL has.
What happened in this game, CK? Yeah, well, that is the case, isn't it? But tell me, CK, is that I mean, obviously, you're talking about the Gerald McCoy.
That was the epitome one. Like, there was so many other opportunities. You know, one of the deep passes downfield. Somebody was about to get to. No, it was one of Aaron Jones's first down runs that he made. He was clearly getting ready to be wrapped up, and then all of a sudden, in the camera, you can see people just grabbing a hold of his arm and preventing the guy from wrapping up. Like, he was being held from behind, and it was just a clear. I mean, it's just so many hold calls that were just left out on the field. You see, not only do you see, former Panthers such as Derek Anderson, you see Taylor Heineke, everybody looking at this and seeing this. It's just you finally get them to acknowledge that there are some missed calls on the broadcast, but the problem is, and the thing that makes me so upset about this, and I know we all saw the post game or the halftime show, is just because it didn't end in a touchdown or any points for that matter doesn't mean it's a moot point. But in the eyes of the media, if that had been a touchdown, then we're going to be talking about it all week. But that wasn't a touchdown. No big deal. That's a big deal. That was going to be kicking from his end zone. Mm-hmm. Kicking from his end zone. And we would have had the ball at the half mark field. Now, granted, here's the thing. A lot of people want to praise Kyle Allen. I think there were some really clutch things that he did there towards the end.
Yeah, I thought he was sensational today. I mean, he's not perfect, but
that was the butt at the end of that.
But here's the part. That fumble on midfield immediately took points off the board. Right there.
Agreed.
Gave them a touchdown. That interception, that was a very ill-informed interception in the red zone, took at least 3 points off the board. Right? So you take that, and those are dumb decisions. Those are stupid things that he did. Now, the fumbling, that can be you're under center. That's not something you can mess up. Right? I could maybe understand a bad snap if you're from shotgun. He was directly under center. You've been doing this for probably 10 years of your life, and you're telling me you can't get that ball back. I know it's really cold. Don't get me wrong. I understand that. Yeah, but I'm not ready to praise Kyle Allen's performance because, honestly, if you look at the broadcast, you look at the stats, take those 2 turnovers away, they're the difference in this game.
Yeah, and I feel like it could have had the ball out a little bit earlier on a few of those plays. And listen, another thing, and this is more of a kudos to Kyle Allen, our offensive line, especially at the end, we were getting our ass whooped. Yeah, I mean, in the middle too. There was no pocket.
Dude, he looked all out of sorts. Though you look, is that I have a theory about. I have something that's going to raise a lot of controversy in a moment. But when he got that pressure, Cody, it was coming after him. He got away with a grounding call. He's throwing it. He's flipping it everywhere. It's just I mean, like you said, kudos to him. He was under duress at the end.
Yeah,
he did a good job not taking a sack. The end. I don't put the loss there at the end on him. It's just everything that led up to that, the decisions that were being made. That interception was just a backer. You take even one of those poor plays out of the equation, this is a completely different conversation. True, but at the same time, this is a game of momentum.
Yeah.
Like, it really is. Every sport game is a game of momentum. You can look at a basketball game, then when they go on a 23-6 run, it changes the entire momentum of the game. Same way with football, man. When you got the momentum rolling your way, it's different. And when you have a situation where you've held the Packers at halftime with 4 minutes left in the end zone, and you've made a legit play to sack the golden boy I'm not going to say the golden boy, what some people consider the golden boy Aaron Rodgers, and they call roughing the passer. That's a BS call because he hit the ground and somebody landed on top of him. That changes the momentum of the game. That not only cost us the points we may have scored then, but it let them drive out the rest of the half and to give us a chance to get the ball back. That changes the entire game. I'm not saying it's the reason we lost, but it did have an effect on the way the game came out.
The talk in the chat room right now is about Paradis not having the best game. John Kidko Barrera as well as Matthew Tilley both talking about Paradis struggling up the middle. And you do got to give credit to Kyle Allen. His pocket presence has improved tremendously as it's gone on. I don't think any of this game, to me, when I look back at it, comes to the offense. I'm sorry, guys. I know that he left some things out there. He did this, but he made these giant plays downfield every now and then. He kept us in there. The defense, though, guys, stinks.
Yeah.
It's either amazing looking or the most horrendous shit you've ever seen. There's no either or. There is no either or. And I have to say this, is that we cannot stop the run, dude. They gashed us and gashed us and gashed us.
Why do we think that is? Why are we so bad in the run?
Oh my God! All right, because Cody wants us to suck his, because
I'm legit asking.
You're right. All right, yeah. No, I don't know. I'm worried that it's the 3-4. I worry it's the 3-4. And don't tell me this. We were in the 4-3 the whole time when we were putting 3-4 personnel out there most of the time. But we did look a little 4-3-ish today, to be honest, and we still couldn't do anything. I don't know. It's just right up the middle, and there's this big ass gaping holes. Are we ready to start calling out Luke Kuechly? Are we ready to start calling out? I don't know.
Thompson, we ready to call out Gerald McCoy, Dontari Poe.
I actually am kind of. I'm a little ready to call out McCoy.
McCoy is every single player. Why do we not put any of this on the fucking coaches? It's honestly ridiculous.
We do put some of it on the coaches.
Yeah, I do think we put some on them.
All of it on the coaches. You can't put all of it on them, man. Like.
Okay, so then. All
right, Cody. Why could we not stop? Why is our rush game so bad?
Tony,
you tell me. You tell me.
I'm not. Listen. That's why I'm asking. So if it's not our coach's fault with the tackling, then please somebody tell me what's going on. Does our entire defense just suck? Is it the same thing as last year where we thought that we had a talented football team and then now we're just realizing, well, you know what? We don't have good gap awareness. No one has a good tackling form. You know, our play, maybe Luke Kuechly isn't as good as we thought he was. Someone tell me.
All right. Okay. I guess as you say it that way, when you say it like that, Cody.
Let's take this.
I fucking know, man.
Let's take this into consideration, okay? Real quick. We are playing the Packers, who are one of the best offenses in the league. Aaron Rodgers, one of the best passing quarterbacks in the league. Aaron Jones is like the fourth best running back in the league, and we're playing in the snow and ice. So there are some mitigating factors.
Touchdowns.
There are some mitigating factors to the defense not playing as well. I'm not making excuses for them, but it's not all coaching. It's not all the players. There are other elements that go to it. Like you can't say that when you go against some of the best players in the league, you're going to stop them every time.
What are the elements that causes every team to do it? Not just the Packers, not just the Titans, fucking everyone. We have the worst rush defense in the NFL. That's Ron Rivera.
Well, all right. I will. With that though, is that historically we have been tremendous against the run. Yes, so we would say Ron Rivera was great against the run, and now he forgot how to coach it.
So then, who's our defense? Okay, so is Eric?
Actually, here, let me bring this up. Ron Rivera, when they decided to decline or take the penalty and put them in a 4th and 20 or whatever it was, or something
I liked it. I wasn't mad at that.
So the thing that stood out to me is that there's 3 coaches standing in a row. Ron Rivera's talking to this skinny white dude, and then that came up, and then Eric Washington is off to the side. So that's what I think, continuing to, I guess, support your point, Cody, is who is it? You know what I'm saying? Is like, are they ruffled? You know what I'm saying? Are they shook when it comes to Ron Rivera? I don't know, but the defense is not. I don't understand it, and if that is
in a row now.
If the answer is that since we can't understand it, it has to fall on the coaches, then I guess I have to be with you, because the rush defense is horrendous. It's like so atrocious watching these guys run in these big giant Moses part in the Red Sea.
Right.
I don't know. Like, we could be, if you look at the rest of the team, guys, if we weren't giving up these gashing ass runs, we're all of a sudden looking like a good damn team. Even the defense looks great in some really tough positions, but then they just run it right up the gut and kick you right in the nuts. Oh my gosh, it hurts.
Here's my point. I'm going to make 2 points here. Number one, there's so much that goes into installs of game plans and things like that. Even after the San Francisco game, you know, it was a clear indication Ron had taken the blame for that, because he said he took advantage of our aggressiveness as far as our play style, the way that we want to play the football on the defense. That also comes back to gap discipline. Well, once again, you know, that's a part of the install. If you're not making sure everybody's aware of where they're supposed to be, if it's every play, if it's every drive that this happens, there's a clear misunderstanding about where people are supposed to be at if it's a gap discipline thing. Number two is, if we're practicing against McCaffrey, who's considered the number 1 back in the NFL right now, how are we not able to understand how to stop the run at this point?
Because we don't go as hard in practice as you do in the game.
I mean, I think we all have to just come to Cody's side on this.
That's every football team.
I think at the end of the day is that no matter how much we want to defend and this and that is that we probably do have to come to Cody's side on this when it comes. Like, it's so bad that it doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't, you know what I mean? Like, when it's everything is wrong, then it finally goes to the coach and the defense. But McCaffrey, by the way, go ahead.
No, can I just say, like, really, like, I'm okay. I get riled up when it comes to my criticism of Ron Rivera and his defense, but like, really, I'm not even that mad right now. And listen, I'm a fan of this football team, and I will be until the day that I.
How
die.
are you not mad? We've had an opportunity to win another fucking game.
Because I feel like, well, they fought better than I expected to. Yeah. I didn't pick Carolina to win this. I did not think that Carolina was going to win today. I didn't think that we had the right game planning to put Kyle Allen in an advantageous position. They were going to be able to get after him, and they did it on the exterior and the interior. So, I mean, I love the Panthers, but I didn't think they were going to win today. I'm proud that we did what we did, and that, you know, a backup quarterback playing at his favorite football team growing up was playing in the snow, chucking it around. His dad was there. I'm happy for Kyle. I mean, I know he feels bad. It's already being reported that, you know, he says that this whole thing is on him because of the fumble. It was a bad fumble. But, I mean, at the end of the day, I think that for our offensive line playing as bad as it did, we lost our left tackle. Dude, DJ Moore, listen, we have to give some credit.
120 yards. 120 yards.
I was hard.
Told you this dude was a beast.
I knew it.
I told you.
Only took 2 years to show up.
I was hard on DJ Moore.
Second year
separator, but now he's done better on everything, man. He's a better route runner. He gets a better separation. He's clutch when the ball is anywhere around him. Yards after catch. I mean, we had some guys that came up big time, but I mean, that's all you could hope for in this football game, I feel.
Greg Olsen came 2 yards shy of 100 yards today, too.
Yeah,
I know. Olsen was playing. They were feeling it. Hey, you guys, if you're trying to go to the game next week like CK and I are, you better make sure you go to Vivid Seats. Check out vividseats.com. Download the Vivid Seats app. It's your top source for tickets for the events you want to go to. You can sort by price. You can sort by seat. You can sort by awesomeness. And there's even a rewards program for Vivid Seats. And you can get up to 100%, or you can get up to $100 back on your first purchase of Vivid Seats, as well as every purchase is backed by 100% buyer guarantee for the biggest concerts and games to the hottest theater shows and more. Vivid Seats has it all. Download the app. Join Vivid Seats Rewards loyalty program today, and don't forget to use the overtime promo code that can receive up to $100 discounts on your first purchase. Guys, I tell you one thing though, why the hell we can't stop the run and Muggs cannot catch a godforsaken punt or kickoff? We're always, who is this? We bring in a new dude every week, and he fumbles it every freaking week. Early in that game, what, the Hershey guy or whatever?
Yeah, Dirt. He
was hurt this week.
Is that what it was? Because he said he's a healthy scratch.
He was gone. Well, he didn't play today.
Yeah, he was inactive, but I don't think he was injured. That's the thing. Like, he didn't fumble at all last week.
There was one. There was, all right. If it sure feels like, well, thanks. It sure feels like every week, but today we did, and they don't turn into turnovers. That's not even been the problem this season. Is that it's just it's all of a sudden we're on the 10. You know why the hell? I mean, obviously it's coaches.
Obviously, missed opportunity.
Why can't you coach them to catch the fucking football better?
Yeah, you're right.
McCaffrey will get 10 yards on nothing, guys. On nothing.
Yeah. Well, except at the end of the game when he needed to.
I blame that on Greg.
Yeah.
I blame that on Greg Van Roten. Even though he tried to drag him in, if he wasn't there, I feel like McCaffrey extends that ball into the end zone.
I still think it was predictable to run the ball there. I think we should have thrown it.
How about this? Can I take a moment to give Ron Rivera some praise, but also shit on Norv Turner? I have no problem with Ron Rivera going for 2 points. In fact, I like that move. I mean, you need 2 touchdowns. Try and put 2 on the board. That way, if you get a stop, you only need 6 points, and a defensive stop, you win the whole football game.
No, but see,
what I don't like is the call. You're not gonna go to Christian McCaffrey on that play. Why? That's what I'm saying. Norv Turner is so bipolar to me. Every once in a while, he'll call up this beautiful end-around play that looks incredible, but then on the goal line, he does the most basic shit in the world. I don't understand that for the life of me. You have an MVP candidate running back, and you don't at least try. It doesn't have to be a run up the middle, but you're not going to at least try to figure out a way to get the ball to the best player on the football team. Come on, man.
I have to disagree with you there, man, because you don't put yourself in a position where you have to go for 2 until you have to go for 2. Now, imagine if we would have gone for 1 and we'd have been down 7.
Win, not tie.
Just hold on. Just imagine if we'd have been down 7 at the end of the game.
We didn't get the touchdown.
Okay, but I'm just saying. Just imagine if we would have. We'd have scored a touchdown at the end of the game, and instead of being down 7, we're down 8. And now you're at the end of the game, and you have to go for 2 instead of kicking the game to kicking the field goal to tie it. Like, you can't play this hypothetical thing of, well, in a quarter and a half, we may be up by 6 instead of 7, so let's go ahead and go for 2. You don't do that, man. You play football. I don't care what the analytics say. You score 7 points there. You put yourself down 1 regular possession. That way, if you have in the position they're in, all you got to do is score a touchdown to tie the game.
I'll tell you why I disagree with that. For so long, we've been against Ron Rivera because he's not analytical enough. And the one time he decides to use analytics, we're going to crucify him because it didn't work. I think that actually is a smart play.
I don't know that.
No risk.
Where are the analytics that say that's the best thing to do right there? I don't see how that makes sense to go for.
Because Greg, you're putting yourself in a position to win the football game instead of tying the football game. Instead of going to overtime at home, or when they're at home in Lambeau in a driving snow.
It still doesn't matter. We lost by
a chance.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because we lost the game. Yeah, don't be mad about it. Let's move on to this. The fact that there's 101 people watching the show, and we only got 15 thumbs up. 24 now. I'm guilt shaming you guys. Shaming you and guilting you. All right, so to me, I think the Panthers played a good game. But I think they lulled you today into thinking that everything is all right. When it comes to Kyle Allen, I think that he made this exciting at the end, and it makes us feel like, oh my gosh, we can do things and this and that. But I do think there's systemic weaknesses to this team. The fact that, like Cody is going to say this, is that the defense is not better, continues to be on Ron Rivera. Guys, the Green Bay Packers did not play great today. This was an opportunity for us to win. But again, we've blown it. We've blown it. And I know what I'm afraid of, Cody, is that we went here and said we weren't going to win this game. We weren't going to win this game. And then we put up a good fight. But I don't know if that's enough. And I just don't understand.
It isn't enough.
Right. Like, so we're not for moral victories. But that's the thing, is that you don't want to get just enough excitement here in this game to hide some of the warts on this team.
Yeah.
And I don't really understand how the run defense is this bad. I'm sorry I'm flogging that horse, guys, but it is the reason we lost this game. Aaron Rodgers didn't beat us.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing. It's just the fact they ran straight up the gut on us over and over and over. I've never seen anything like it under Ron Rivera's tenure as a coach. But you're right. This was the story last year. We couldn't stop the run either, Cody.
Yeah, so in my mind, that says, well, it's not the change from a 3-4 to a 4-3. because it was the same problem last year as it is this year. I mean, if you're doing your job well, and like I said, it goes back. A lot of our players were in position to make plays, but they're just not wrapping up. They're not tackling. There's no discipline in the small things that the Carolina Panthers do. And so that's why I say that it's a coaching issue. But I will go ahead.
Good. No, I'll say it sounds like if they're in the right place to make the play, it sounds like coaching put them in a good spot to make the play, and they just didn't physically do their job.
But I mean, listen, we're going back and forth. But listen, my answer isn't going to change to you though. Right. We both agree that is the problem. We disagree on why it is a problem. I'm saying that when you're coaching a defense, it starts with the coaching to make sure that said due diligence is done. And it isn't being done, and it hasn't been the last few Sundays in a row. So, I mean, I'm not – this is a bad defense right now. And another thing, and I even said this last year too, man, on important third downs, we would have F.A. Obata, Kyle Love, Wes Horton in the middle, who would just sign back to the team after he was somewhere else, and Brian Burns on the end. Like, they're not even working Brian Burns a lot into the first team rotations. I don't understand the mindset in that. And I said
seemed missing today, didn't he? Seemed missing today. Missing a lot of days. How about and I want to give a shout out to Vernon Butler trying to save his career, bro. Mm-hmm. Good guys. I mean, and you know what? They're flashy plays, but he looks like his body looks good. You know what I'm saying? He's doing those plays have made a big difference. So I don't know if you should view him as awesome, but he has made his name be known. Guys, let's go ahead and turn in. We want to hear from you guys. The number is 252-228-5098. It's the Cat Calls line. That's number 252-228-5098, where you can be a part of the longest running Panthers podcast out there. Let's see what you guys got to say tonight.
So what are your thoughts on catcalling?
Yeah, it's pretty. You shouldn't do that to somebody.
And how did that make you feel?
Very uncomfortable.
So how do you think catcalling makes the person feel?
It feels good, like.
Who's that cat sitting in the back corner with his face buried in his nose? Who's that kid that can use one?
Hey boys, it's Chicago Kid. I know it's been a while, but I haven't stopped listening. I haven't called in a while. Anyway, so I just want to respond. Obviously, everybody's kind of discombobulated with the news that Cam's not going to be here for the rest of the season. I'm a huge Cam fan, and I will stand by that dude, whatever happens. Actually, up here in Chicago, they were talking about because they have, Trash Biscuit.
Trash Biscuit.
And he's terrible. So they're asking about, they're talking about what's going on, what can they do, and they've been talking about, hey, maybe we can get Cam Newton. And then the city's like, oh, man, Cam Newton, which is really funny because, I constantly have to defend my quarterback. But then they drafted Trubisky over Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson, so that's hilarious. But I just want to touch on a couple things. One, I know that it's just everybody's just kind of confused. They feel like they don't really have a lot of direction. And honestly, I don't know if a lot of us have faith in the team telling us the truth on exactly what's happening. So I think that's part of the discomfort. But also, I'll talk about the fact that, Cam is an amazing athlete, an amazing quarterback. And for whatever reason, and I think actually racial microaggressions has a lot to do with it, people just choose to ignore that. They're fine if a corner talks shit or shows off or, brags or whatever. Or a wide receiver, but not when it's a quarterback. No, sir. You gotta Tom Brady it. You gotta Drew Brees it, button up, and look pretty. Anyway, we'll see what happens. We just gotta support our Panthers from here, and I hope to see you guys maybe at the game with the Redskins. I'll be coming down. So, all right.
Good call there. And I like the term microaggressions because that's how I feel. Let's keep going with these calls. There's a lot tonight.
I've been saying this for 3 years now. Fire Ron Rivera. I mean, I'm not even mad that we lost because I actually had that as a loss because that was especially when I found out what it was.
Brandon Herbert.
A hard game for us to win anyway.
That's Brandon Herbert.
But we had a chance. But Ron Rivera did Ron Rivera things and screwed us over.
Yeah.
Now everybody knows that call was probably one of the worst calls for Carolina that we've had in some time.
What call?
Like, and that was actually a huge momentum shift where even though they didn't score, they took half the quarter away when we could have gotten more points because we were moving all day up and down the field. But Kyle Allen, if we move on from Cam, we better not be settling for no damn Kyle Allen. Fuck that. Like, he's a good game manager, but if we're moving on from Cam, we don't need a game manager. Not in that aspect. We need somebody that can actually throw the ball more than 40 yards downfield. I'm starting to notice he doesn't have the strongest of arms, which is fine, all right, but we need somebody with the speed that we have. We need somebody that can hit them in stride deep.
A lot of underthrows.
Every time that he throws deep, it's always short, and they have to make a great catch, or it's about to get nearly intercepted. The play to DJ Moore at the end of the game should have been a touchdown. He floated it so far up and let it like behind the receiver. It gave the time for the safety to come across the other side of the field. I'm not going to, and that was the most unathletic fumble that I've seen somebody have. Like, I don't understand what he was doing. Like, Kyle Allen, he needs to go. Ron Rivera definitely needs to go. And I'm tired of that. Like, I'm not mad that we lost. I'm mad at how we lost. Why would you go for two? It makes no sense. I was sitting there counting, like, to myself the whole, like, 40 times to make sure that we wasn't down by more than, 14 points.
What I'm saying.
That's ridiculous. Like, name one coach that would do that, other than a 1-7 coach or something like that. That would do that.
Coaches nowadays.
And if you're going to go for two, at least wait until you score the second touchdown. Don't put your team down before and lose all that momentum that you gained. I'm tired of this. We have talent amongst talent, and the freaking when the rookie.
All right, go ahead. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think this might be part two. But we gotta listen.
Chicago kid again.
Nope. All right. So respond to that call.
Can I point out something real quick about that call? He started the call out very adamantly about firing Ron Rivera, fire Ron Rivera, fire Ron Rivera, and then he went on to talk about how Kyle Allen and the officials making the calls, lost the game for us. Didn't bring up anything about Ron Rivera's play calling until the very end that I agree with him with about the 2-point conversion. I'm just saying, he was all about fire Ron Rivera, but that he blamed the game on Kyle Allen fumbling the ball, Kyle Allen not passing the ball downfield.
I don't think it was play calling that was the problem in today's game.
But you can put play calling on Ron Rivera's end when it comes to the defense, and you can put big time decisions on him, like going for two, which Brandon disagrees with me on. I liked the decision to go for two, but I think looking at the offense, if we're gonna blame Kyle Allen, then you can't blame Norv Turner. So he is right in my mind that if you're gonna put a criticism on part of the coaching staff, it's Ron Rivera. It has to be. Like, I mean, his coaching tenure is going to be dubbed missed opportunities. We've already said this. Like, how many times are we going to, just be okay with, missed opportunities? It's, I echo the same sentiment, man. I'm going to say the same thing all the time. It's time to do something different.
I think the problem with Ron. Oh, okay, there's 2 points I want to make. Number one is about Ron Rivera. I think the problem with Ron Rivera is he's good enough to where, like it just didn't feel like the coaching was the problem today. I'm not saying it won the game. You know what I'm saying? It just was kind of like either or. You know, you felt like that was it was
defensive or just in general.
In general. And because when I look at those run plays, I don't think that's a coaching thing. I think it's just McCoy getting over anxious. Like McCoy in this one play is pushing too far to the left. You know what I'm saying? And then it just creates a gap, and then the guy just breaks it. So I don't know if that's I'm not ready to just say so I'm saying this is that the performance is good enough where we go on the road in a difficult place and are competitive. So you're not walking out there going, damn it, we were like, this is the worst shit I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. But I do have a theory about Kyle Allen that's different than what people are putting out there. And we don't negative, as soon as he doesn't make a throw or makes a mistake, I don't think anybody wants to crucify him. Like, they just go, you know what I'm saying? And so what I feel like is that we're already, it's like we need a scratch golfer, but we're giving somebody a handicap already. And when I think about that with Kyle is like, yes, is he a playing above what I think he could be and should be? Yes, and I'm happy about that. But then when there's these other dumbass or underthrows, that was when Cam was around. We were like, nope, poor mechanics. Missed it by 6 inches. And I feel like we are like, oh, thank God he didn't turn it over there. Yeah, exactly. That's what she said. And, I mean, it's even like all this other stuff is, I don't know. And I just feel like there's an inherent, when it comes to Kyle Allen, forgiveness inside of us. And I give it too. Like, I'm not like, oh, damn, Kyle Allen, you really fucking blew that. I'm like, oh, wow, thank Jesus you didn't blow that.
I mean, there are still, listen, I don't want to be hard on him either. And I think that we all kind of don't. But, I mean, there are, it's like, if you're going to grade him as a backup.
We're grading him with a curve already. We're giving him a curve.
Right, and the problem is that we're only, if you're playing limited on a curve, then it's hard to evaluate North Turner and the play calling if, Kyle Allen isn't reading the field well, which I still don't think that he does very well. But again, one of my philosophies when talking about quarterbacks is I don't ever judge a quarterback based on their first season in the NFL. Like, you're learning on the fly. And I've been saying that Kyle Allen is learning on the fly. I mean, listen, he was not the reason that our team lost today. I think he was a part of a number of reasons, but he by far wasn't the biggest part. And he made some good throws and some good plays. And listen, I'm gonna upset everybody right now. I am not talking about Cam Newton this afternoon. We can save that till Tuesday. I'm not talking about the Cam Newton situation. I bet
your calls want to talk about
it. I am only talking about today's situation. I'm judging Kyle Allen on what he did today. I mean, he was.
Why the Adam Schefter tweet didn't get your fussels ruffled? Your feathers ruffled.
It's so pointless right now, man.
God, I was so pissed at that shit. Your fussels ruffled.
Say what you want to about Kyle Allen, but let's look at the facts. Today that he played against a good defense in really bad elements in an away game in a stadium that's tough to play in, Lambeau Field, and he was about 67 to 70%. He was 67 to 70% completion for the game, threw for over 300 yards. And he made a couple bad decisions, had a bad fumble.
He was 28. He's 28 for 43, 307 yards, a touchdown, and interception. Not those 84 passer rating, I guess, versus the same for Rodgers. The same exact numbers for Rodgers.
Because he didn't have touchdown.
I can name about 15 other starting quarterbacks in the NFL that didn't play that well this week. Or don't play that well week to week.
I think what was exciting about this win, guys.
Our defense is the problem, 100%.
Yeah. I think what was exciting about this game, to be honest, and why you guys don't feel terrible, right, is that we threw the ball in terrible conditions. That's the kudos to Kyle Allen right there. Is that I just thought this is that Kyle Allen can't play from behind, or I won't say can't come. I needed him to play today. I think is his best performance of his career.
Yeah, well, and I agree outside of the turnovers, but I will say this to the credit of Kyle Allen. I think every Panthers fan thought that drive was over. Every time there was a fourth down on the
I think I tweeted out before the game was over that the game was over.
Yeah, so, I mean, and a clutch play to DJ Moore, to Greg Olsen. It just it was definitely an impressive drive there at the end. I hate with a passion that it is a defensive thing. If the defense had the ability to stand up and not allow those just gaping holes. I mean, Aaron Jones averaged over 7 yards a carry. That's astronomically bad. That is a very bad stat day. We allowed the other running back 5 yards a carry. And then Aaron Rodgers had 7 yards a carry, which was only 1 yard.
Kyle Allen had a better day than Aaron Rodgers.
He did, outside of the turnover.
And we got beat. If anybody ever,
I'm not willing to go all the way there, man.
But you're going by emotion, not stats.
Not. No, that throw that Aaron Rodgers made to the sideline in like the second quarter is a throw that maybe even Cam couldn't have made.
You talking about where Ross Cockrell missed that coverage? That was not Aaron Rodgers making a great throw. That was Ross Cockrell missing the ball.
Ross Cockrell, and Troy Aikman even said it on the broadcast. Ross Cockrell wasn't even in that bad a coverage. Aaron Rodgers can just fit the ball into a gnat's ass from 50 yards away, man. Like, listen, I am not shitting on
I don't want to hear that one play, though. What I'm saying is that Rodgers was basically a non-factor in this game for their team.
Right.
He is not what beat the Carolina Panthers today in the least bit.
The rushing attack.
And that's what I'm saying is that Kyle Allen had arguably a better game. Who in the world of worlds, if I told you that Kyle Allen had a arguably better game than Aaron Rodgers and that we lost, I don't even know what that would mean. And I think that's what the guys from the First and Goal podcast were talking about. Is finally they got an offense that doesn't need Aaron Rodgers. Being a hero, playing hero ball.
Here's the part to that equation as well. If you got to look at it from the outside looking in, if we want to praise Kyle Allen for that, we've got to praise North Turner because Kyle Allen isn't calling those plays. Aaron Rodgers on the field is. Aaron Rodgers is constantly checking, making sure the cover, reading the coverages, adjusting. I guarantee you that not all of those runs would have gone for as long as they had Rodgers not been there to see, oh, this coverage is here. They've got their gap discipline here. We know that our guys are going to be, pulling or, doing some sort of a blocking scheme that's going to be favorable to that coverage. Does Kyle Allen offer that? No, not at all. Not even in the, I once again do not feel like I heard an audible once coming from Kyle Allen.
And to add on top of what CK was saying, that's the whole point of why they brought in Matt LaFleur, to put opportunities in the way so that they're not having to depend on Aaron Rodgers. In the past, this was an Aaron Rodgers dependent offense. But if you can run the ball on us with Aaron Jones, you don't need Aaron to throw the football. Have him make a pass on every few second or third downs. And I mean, listen, that's why your coach puts you in.
He had 29. He had 29 completions today. I think about that. 29. I mean, completions, attempts. 29 attempts. That's a low game for Aaron Rodgers. Absolutely. I would think.
That's one more complete. That's one more than the completions that Kyle Allen had today.
He was 17 for 29 versus 28 for 43. But here, guys, I do want to remind this is before we get back into the cat calls, we're a little over halfway through the season, and there's still time to get in on the action. The Panthers put up a good fight today. They did not cover the 5-point spread, and I told you they probably wouldn't, and that you could go to mybookie.ag and really cash in on that. There's games still. There's Monday Night Football. There's NFL. There are NBA lines. You can go and check out the Charlotte Hornets are way better than expected this year. You can the Carolina Hurricanes dropped 3 in a row this past week, so they're bound to get in the action. And the way for you to have fun, place your bet safely and confidently is mybookie.ag. Don't forget to use the promo code OVERTIME. They will match your first deposit up to 50% if you use the promo code OVERTIME. MyBookie.ag. You play, you win, you get paid. Guys, let's go ahead and move on to the next call. Let's see. I think it is Chicago Kid coming back for seconds.
Hi, guys. This is Chicago Kid again. So I was halfway through the latest episode when I called you guys earlier. And the more I've listened, the more sad I've become. Because just a world without Cam Newton on a permanent basis is just not as bright of a world. And certainly, you scared the shit out of me, Professor, by even mentioning the possible reality that Cam Newton would never play for the Falcons. But anyway, just wanted to call you guys back.
Please don't ever do it.
More about the Liz Frank injury. So a little bit about my living situation. I am engaged to a nurse practitioner, and my best friend is a doctor of physical therapy, and they see some gnarly stuff. So when I heard about the Liz Frank injury, of course, I asked both of them what the deal is, and both of them, I mean, you're talking about 20 plus years of medical schooling, and both of them said, oh, he's going to have surgery. No question.
Told you. And what did we hear this morning?
You know, when they both found out which foot it was on and, you know, if he's left-handed, right-handed, you know, throwing motion, etc., there was just no question. They said, absolutely, it's going to have to be surgery. So, Tony, you're mentioning about the possibility of surgery, and I think that's a real possibility as well. And this is what I was talking about before, is us trusting the team. We know that they, you know, pulled the wool over our eyes with Smitty back in the day, and I don't think they've been forthcoming with us about Cam at any point in time. And he's the face of the franchise, and really the only face of the franchise we've had outside of Smith, who we burned. So that's my 2 cents. Hopefully, if it's surgery, he can recover. And if not, maybe it's a miracle, but I just wish him the best. Keep pounding.
What's up, J-Med in the chat room? And shout out to all you guys, Yotes. I see John Kidco Barrera still in the house. Trail 1 still in the house. Ken 867. And guys, Cody, I know you didn't want to talk about it, so you can be quiet, I guess. But the news came out this morning. Was it Adam Schefter?
Yeah, Adam Schefter, and then Rappaport had his own little...
Which one was that had the story? Was it Rappaport or Schefter? I think it must, whoever the NFL guy is, so that must be Rappaport. And the idea is that Cam now is leaning towards getting the surgery, which I think is a wise thing for everybody. Absolutely. But look, as I told you that this was going to happen, and here we are. The scary thing was if Cam was getting the surgery. And to me, right now, I think everybody's got to listen to this. As they tell you an 8 to 12 week rehab time, that is the most optimistic number. I really think we have to be, at this point, is Cam excited about him potentially coming back, but concerned that's not back fast enough.
Did you guys see my post about that the other day, where I was talking about how now it's the trilogy of the movies, where the name of the movie is
What a great
Return from the Injury Part 3.
Yeah, what a great tweet.
It's going to come out right before right at the end of training camp, just before or just after the draft, so we don't know how his status is.
All right, let's go to the next call.
Hey, Cody. Hey, Tony Dunn. Hey, guys.
This is Front Seven Best in the Game, or the Complainer in Chief on WFNZ. Anyways,
what's up?
I was calling in regard to what y'all saying. Why do most of our fans not like Cam? And I have family that lives in South Carolina. I have a whole bunch of families who are SEC college football fans. And I can tell you why it is. It's because he went to Auburn and balled out and dominated every single team he played in the SEC. And that is why. And especially you got to hate people who are South Carolina Gamecock fans because of the fact of what he did to them in the SEC championship game. He made them look stupid. And then they started bringing up all this stuff. Oh, he got paid and stuff. That's why they hate him. That's why they call him Cam Newton and everything. And I don't agree with it. I'm an ACC fan. I love Cam Newton. And I hate that SEC. I just do. So when he played for Auburn, I didn't want him to win a national championship game. I wanted Oregon to win. But anyways, that's beyond the point. It's just because, that was an SEC team. But when Cam came to us, I was happy. And I was excited. And I'm still happy and excited because I think he's going to still come back, and he's going to come back better than ever. So we just got to keep doing this, keep pounding the guys. All right. I hope we won this game, even though it's going to be on the post game. So I hope we beat Green Bay by the time y'all hear this call. Hey. All right, guys, keep pounding. Take it easy.
All right, next call. Maybe we'll get one after the game.
What up, C3? It's your boy Josh from Mass. Like chilly Sunday morning up here with the rest of the Minutemen up here in Massachusetts, and I'm drinking my coffee, rolling up a fatty, about to get the Sunday rituals underway for the football, and all of a sudden, watching NFL Network, and we got Ian Rappaport coming on with his Cam's considering surgery now, and
Cody, you gotta plug your ears.
The whole world, that means
this the call line gets blasted.
It's like, well.
We're not even to the post-game calls yet.
I mean,
this is how much they love us.
That makes sense. But if the team's trying to trade him, I mean, who gives a shit? As far as being a player, who gives a damn? You get traded, whatever. Trades are final. Sales are final. There is no getting back. So I'm not sure what he would give a fuck about that for. But,
Josh was in his feelings this morning.
It's just still. Like, we really
he already split that rolling paper once.
Maybe the man's tired of trying to rehab it and have no progress for, we're going on 2 months now. And there's been no progress. Other than that one video we got of him jogging around and, doing.
There ain't no progress. He's getting that. He's getting that surgery.
If anybody consider that maybe he's just tired of fucking waiting around for this to get better because that's apparently
that's why he wants to get surgery now. He waited too long.
Because the rumor.
All right, I'm cutting this off just because there's so many calls, but I will promise you, I know what happened with Cam. I know exactly what happened with Cam. Is that they said this to him, is that you've got a Liz Frank injury that can be rehabbed potentially. But also, the other alternative is surgery. But if you get surgery, your season this season is done already and part into next off season. And so he just said, man, I want to try to get it back right the other way. And he's come to the realization this is that it's one bad step every time away from needing the surgery anyway.
Well, what I saw this morning is that they're talking about he would be ready by March if he were to.
That is
get
a very optimistic timeline.
Well, keep in mind we're talking about Cam Newton. Now I know that doesn't mean shit, but I mean, when do OTAs start? Like after your draft picks are in, like what around?
March. He would want to be ready in March for this reason. What he needs to show the Carolina Panthers in March is that there's no reason to get a new.
But he can't do that because OTAs don't start till after the draft.
No, if he can come back and he can show them that he's able to work out and actually do. So the thing is, the reason he needs to be ready by March is if he and the reports indicate that he wants to stay in Carolina. It's just a matter of whether
Carolina
he does. Is going to win. Here's the thing: is if he can show he's better by March, well, guess what? He now has the ability to come to the Carolina Panthers and say, "Hey, listen, don't trade me. I've gotten better. This is what I'm able to do." Whereas if he's not better by March, are the Panthers going to sit there and risk him not being good and then not trade him and then not get a draft pick because he's an unrestricted
and wasting a whole year a whole year with no quarterback? Agreed. I think you're exactly right, CK. The number's 252-228-5098. Let's see what else these cats got to say.
What's up, guys? It's your buddy Nick from up here in Mass. You know,
what's up?
Don't talk about my mustache, Nick.
Probably about 4 o'clock right now, and I just happened to pull up Google, and all of a sudden, right at the top of the page, it's showing that the Falcons are beating the Saints. Win-win.
Beat them bad, too.
Another win, because, you know, hey, they need something to boost their ego.
I told you this was a trap game, folks.
Oh, yeah.
What a beautiful day it is, getting ready for
in the
Carolina
Superdome.
Football. Love you guys. You guys do an awesome show. Listen every week. Keep pounding.
Thanks, man.
Keep pounding, man.
Hey,
What's up,
I
guys?
will say,
Love y'all. Love the podcast. But I want to talk about it because we got to talk about it because this is probably it for our season. Like, the Saints lost today. We needed this win. We need to win out. We can't lose any more games. This is a big road game. This was like make or break for us. And of course, the Packers did what we
I kind of felt
do,
San Francisco was like that.
Take the ball out of Christian McCaffrey's hands and put it in Boat Shoes Kyle's fucking hands, and that's what they did. And my man honestly gave us 4 quarters of really great football. Can I just talk about this last drive real quick? I'm like 2:30 on the clock, 2:32 I think. They put it in, they give like this, the keys are fully in Kyle's hands. Like, this is it. He's our guy. And every single drop back, I know the footing is bad. I know that you can't make the plays you want to make because of the conditions. But every single drop back, he's running for his life because he's getting 0 blocking, dude. And this is my point about the whole
the offensive line's still bad.
This season is, you want to talk about Cam. Is he hurt? Oh, you guys want to talk? Like, I'm talking about the fans. I'm not talking about y'all. I'll get y'all in a second. But either way.
I'll catch y'all in a second. Don't worry. I got something for y'all.
Keithley's got to take over this team like Cam was. You guys want to talk about fire Ron Rivera. Ron Rivera's not doing shit. Like, all this shit. The real problem here is that our offensive line cannot stay healthy for a game and a half, and they are not doing shit, bro. Pilardis was getting blown up. Van Roten was getting blown up. Moten, I couldn't even see Moten. All I saw on the field in Moten's position was a bowl of mashed potatoes and gravy, because that's what he did, was nothing. He sat there like a bowl of mashed potatoes and gravy and did not move the whole game. He didn't give Kyle a chance. Kyle, how many times did he get that ball out of his hands on some desperation, I'm about to die shit, let me throw this into the fucking ground to keep this drive alive on that last drive? Like, Ron Rivera made some fucking moves. Like, I think going for the 2-point conversion, honestly, huge. I as soon as we scored that touchdown, I'm like, kick the ball, because I knew Ron wasn't going to I knew he was going to do some 2-point conversion shit. I knew it. And I'm sitting here.
It's a good call. It's a good call, even though it started coming out unhinged at the end. Nice call.
You have to love the emotion of it.
Yeah. Let's see what we got here.
Cody, CK, the Stat Daddy. It's Killer Cam from Nashville. Just finished up that game, and I tell you what, Stat Daddy could not be more right about NFL and their golden boy fucking Aaron Rodgers. I mean, come on. About that fucking call in the end zone. You're going to call that roughing the passer. The biggest bullshit I've ever even fucking seen. And you know what? I'm tired of defending this team to other Panthers fans. We're not saying Kyle Allen is the future. We're not saying that he's better than Cam Newton. But he is who we have right now. And he is not why we lost this game. And you know what? I'm sick of it. He is who we have right now. Cam is fucking hurt. There's nothing anyone can fucking do about that. He is who we have through the remainder of the season, and it's time to just roll with it. There's nothing else anyone can do, but this one's really, really disappointing. The refs turned this fucking game around, and it's their fucking golden boy. Really disappointing. Keep pounding.
I'm going to give that one a clap. Just me personally.
There you go.
There we go.
Why? Because he's your number one fan?
What's up, C3? Chef Jeff here.
This is my boy, Chef Jeff, Cody's brother.
A couple of coaching decisions that I didn't like. I don't know why they tried to go for it for twos on the last score, but that And why the hell is Colin Jones out on the field on defense again? I get that Bradbury was hurt, but why the fuck is Colin Jones out there? Why?
He's terrible.
And
Paula Bones.
We still don't know how to stop the run to save our fucking lives.
Yeah, it's terrible.
That's why Colin Jones was on the field.
It is
it's terrible. No, it's
even with
everybody.
the turnovers and everything, we could have won this game had we been able to stop the run. That call in the first half with Aaron Rodgers down in the back of the end zone, ridiculous. Another amazing call by Jerome Boger, one of the worst officials in the league. Can't stand his ass. I used to think it was just because he hated Cam, and that's why we always got shit calls on offense. But apparently he just doesn't like the Panthers. I don't know. But yeah, good hard-fought game. I'm good with the call at the end of the game to run it. I was screaming it at the TV, run the fucking ball, run the fucking ball.
Really?
Just a couple inches short. Good hard-fought game, though. I don't see us doing anything in the playoffs, even if we do make it in on a wild card.
Our defense is not good enough.
We're just 6 inches not good enough to reference your swinging the big dick. So, we shit the bed again on prime time, but we'll be back next week. Take care of business against Atlanta. Keep pounding, guys.
Keep pounding.
The thing with the Panthers... Go ahead.
Can I just say how fortunate the Saints are to be in a division with us? Like, I mean, do you remember even in 2017, Tampa Bay beat them when we were trying to win and get the first seed throughout the playoffs and move up, or first seed in the division and move up, and the Panthers lose on the same day that the Saints lose.
Yeah.
It's just a gutter, man.
Let me ask you this. Did you think that today's game, in your mind, was more winnable than the San Francisco 49ers game when we went in there?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
like before the kickoff?
Absolutely.
No, I'm not talking about what you saw. I'm talking about before kickoff. Because I didn't. I thought today was the one. That's why I feel like I'm okay with this. But arguably, I think the 49ers game was the one. Imagine if we went, like, we looked so putrid in that. To me, that was more of a referendum on this team than today. And then when you know that they're going to run the ball because of the weather,
and still can't do
and you can't do it, that was just deflating at that point. I want to be happy about the fact that we put it to a team, you bring it down to the wire. But when you see them run on you like that, I just don't know how I can be optimistic about the future of the team. And like Chef Jeff was saying to the playoffs, is that our defense just looks suspect. And someone said this in the chat room, that the defense is a fraud. That's what they put, a fraud. And I thought, man, that hurts my heart.
Well, the thing is, Tony, is the difference between this and the San Fran game is I think that Green Bay and San Fran are comparable as far as talent and teams. I think San Fran's actually a little bit better of a team because they're more well-rounded. But like I was saying earlier, it's a game of momentum. When you get into the San Fran game and you go down as far as you did to begin with, not only is the momentum shifting in a totally different direction,
but you got behind so much so quick. It's hard. But I'm talking about before you walked in there. We don't see San Francisco as a hostile environment. I thought Green Bay. It's just a tough place to play.
Yeah.
And then you add the weather, and then you add this. And so I'm not upset by it. Cody, you said you weren't upset by this loss in the beginning. I think it lends to a little bit of that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm upset that we lost, but
right.
And here's another point that I'll make, and someone was kind of, I forget who it was, getting on to us in the chat that we didn't kind of harp on that interception that Kyle Allen threw in the end zone, and that when you couple the fumble and giving up the points right there, that maybe it's a whole different ball game.
Yeah,
and he chunks the ball up a lot. He just chunks the ball up.
So does Aaron Rodgers.
And listen, like what? I mean, listen. You guys tell me. Does it make someone a bad fan if you kind of want Kyle Allen to show the world that he isn't the answer at quarterback this season? Because what I don't think you want to happen is a scenario where, for example, when Jake Delhomme got injured. Yeah, well, Jake Delhomme got injured, and then we moved on from Jake Delhomme, and who we bring in, like Matt Moore? Okay, and then, we thought Matt Moore was going to be the answer, because you know what? Oh, he's better in the offense, he's doing good things, and then you go into next year only to just be absolutely, deflated when you realize that he isn't the answer. Now, you can't judge Kyle Allen based on what someone else before him couldn't do. But at the same time, like, if Kyle Allen definitely isn't the answer, I'm almost sighing a breath of fresh air that we're finding this out now as opposed to too late.
100%.
Right. All right, next call. Go ahead.
I would say two things I wanted to add. One, we got to remember, even though we lost today, we're still only 2 games down from the leading division, and we played New Orleans twice.
That's also what we said last week.
Over. Yeah, well, right. That's what I'm saying. We
didn't we did not lose any ground, but guys,
exactly.
Here's the thing too. To that token, we thought we were going to lose today, right?
Mm-hmm.
We also thought New Orleans was going to win.
Exactly. We were going to be down more.
So we were going to be down by three games. Now we're only down by 2 still. And
false hope. That's just what Cody is talking about.
Yeah. And then two, I want to say, when we're talking about the situation with the quarterback, let's be realistic. There are only about 7 to 8 quarterbacks in the NFL. There's 3 tiers of quarterbacks. There are about 7 to 8 quarterbacks in the NFL that no matter where you put them, what team they're on, they're going to be elite quarterbacks. Then there's quarterbacks like Matt Stafford, like Kirk Cousins, people like that are going to be okay and can get the job done. Then there's the lower tier, and we just got to figure out where Kyle Allen is in that tier. I don't think he's in that top tier, but he may be in that second tier that can get it done. So we just have to figure that out.
Christina Aguilar says, upset but not surprised by today's loss.
Right.
Yeah. All right, let's go on to I think that's a fantastic way of putting it. Next call.
Hey, guys, the Ken867. I love the podcast. You guys rock.
Thank you.
Tough loss, obviously, and they kind of hung tight in there a bit. But we don't have a great defense. I know we think we do in many ways with the sacks and everything that take.
It's fool's gold.
But the run defense blows, and everybody's able to exploit that.
Mm-hmm.
And Ron Rivera's supposed to be like a defense guru. He can't stop the freaking run up the middle. He can't stop it, and until we can stop it, we're not going to be, above a 500 team. Is the reality. We're just not going to be able to hang in there for the rest of the season because everybody can exploit that. Like Aikman was saying with the holes, the huge holes. The other thing is, hey, James Bradbury's our number 1 cornerback. There's no dispute on that. He's our number 1 cornerback. When he's out of the game, he just goes downhill. But the offense, I'm optimistic about our receivers, DJ Moore and Curtis Samuels. They are young. They do have a lot to learn, but they're showing some good promise. So if they continue to develop and build their skills, that'd be pretty cool. Anyway, hey, appreciate you again, guys. You guys are awesome, and keep pounding.
Yeah, thank you so much for that call. I'm gonna turn that call over to Cody because you brought it up earlier. DJ Moore really was a sight to be seen today, and while Curtis Samuel was okay, right? Is that, I mean, these guys look good out there right now. I'm excited about it. Cody, what did you see from those receivers, man?
I mean, you're talking about two guys who athletically have just an unlimited amount of potential. And as I kind of alluded to earlier, I and a few others have been tough on DJ Moore because early on it appears, he was kind of a lazy route runner. And then there were people that are like, well, if you're not good at that in college, you're probably not going to be better at it in the NFL. And I think DJ Moore has started to shut those people up. DJ Moore has really turned it on. He's much more decisive in his cuts. He's a tremendous yards after the catch guy, but we already knew that. And, I'm at the point where it's like, man, imagine what would happen if maybe they had a better quarterback situation. I can't count how many times we have seen Kyle Allen underthrow a beautiful Curtis Samuel has a space. All he has to do is keep on running, but the ball just doesn't quite get down there enough. And I feel like as good as Samuel and DJ Moore are playing, you still haven't even seen the best of what these two dudes can do.
I think this was the second consecutive 100-yard game for DJ Moore.
Yeah.
Nine catches for 120 yards and 11 targets. It really stands out. They went to Curtis Samuel 8 times. He only grabbed 4 of them. Now, I don't like to just say that that's just him dictating. It's not me 4 drops. But DJ is really showing out, CK.
Yeah, no, and I agree. And, I obviously expected Curtis Samuel to be a bigger producer this year than DJ Moore, but DJ Moore has obviously excelled into that number 1 role that I think we haven't had in a while. And Cody, you took the words out of my mouth. So many times, and I've said it since day 1 of Kyle Allen starting. There were some good throws, but if Kyle Allen can get his timing down on those deep routes, there are so many yards that have been left on the table that are just easy receptions. Curtis Samuel has blown past coverage so many times, and the ball just hasn't been where it needs to be to actually make that catch. So, I mean, there's so many opportunities out there, but it is encouraging that with the inaccuracies of our backup quarterback, now granted, there have been some on-target throws and some miraculous throws, which I think you're going to get from any quarterback in the league, is that they're still able to produce at the level that they are. That's not a common thing. You're not going to see somebody come in here and do 130 yards against a secondary that would be considered decent. I'm not going to say it's a great secondary. Somebody said they were a great defense. They haven't been a great defense since the second week of the NFL season. But I do think that they've showed out last week, even 100 yards for DJ Moore. They were considered the 4th ranked passing defense in the league, and he still came out and did that with a backup quarterback. So, I mean, I think that there is a lot to be excited about with the receiving core. I just think that as long as they can stay healthy and we can get somebody who's able to get the ball to them, i.e. Cam Newton, then I think they have a large amount of potential. And I'm not going to say unlimited, but I will say absolutely they have the ability to be in the conversation for the best wide receiver duo in the NFL.
Yeah. I want to thank everybody for being part of the show, and I know there's almost upwards of 100 people watching right now, still 89 watching live. Let's go ahead and smash those thumbs up button, get us up. We're at 51 right now. Let's see if we can hit 100 by tomorrow or the end of the show. At the very least, you can call into the show at 252-228-5098. And you guys are making some great points, so let's keep plowing through with these calls.
Hey guys, the Ken867. Love the podcast. You guys.
Is this the same call?
It's the same,
same call.
Tough loss, obviously.
Next call.
What's up, C3? Chef Jeff here. Well, that was a hard-fought game for sure.
We already heard this one too, right?
A couple of coaching decisions that I
Chef
didn't
Jeff,
like.
yeah, we already heard.
Same one? Double downloaded?
I'm sorry, guys. It's me again, the pissed off dude.
my shit went over. I usually try not to like call this long. I just want to say my real issue with this game, the fault of this game, like everything to me in this game was at the end of the first half when they called that bullshit ass penalty.
Oh yeah, we did hear it from this caller earlier.
Hitting Aaron Rodgers in the end zone. That shit was trash, and it killed us, and I knew right that second it was over. Because, and then Jerry Jones, or not Jerry Jones, whatever. They said on the halftime show, fucking,
Jay
it was
Johnson.
a moot point that penalty got called because they didn't score. But there's 4.5 minutes on the fucking clock. We would have got the ball at the 50-yard line. That's at least a field goal. We go into the half only down 1. The only thing, I'm sorry I'm taking so long. I'm just pissed off. You know, I'm upset. I know it's the end of our season. Like, in my mind, we're not making the playoffs, and we're not going to do shit in the playoffs with this offensive line. But the thing about today was the only thing worse than having to watch Joe Buck and Troy Aikman fucking cover a game was that refereeing today.
Joe Buck fucking
like,
sucks,
the NFL
dude.
needs to do something about these referees. It's absurd.
He's so good at baseball too.
I cannot
Yeah,
watch
he is.
I think he's
stuff.
fantastic at baseball.
18 more games a year. Like, what is going on? What are these penalties? And it's like they know that it's like soccer. Like, they know they fucked up, and they're like giving you the advantage. I'm sorry. I'm just ranting on y'all. I'm sorry to do this, y'all. I love y'all. I'm sorry. I'm gonna keep pounding. I'm still prideful.
Let it out,
about
man.
What we did
Whatever
today,
way you need to vent.
with the exception of offensive line. I love y'all. C3 podcast. Big shout out. Whatever.
Appreciate
love y'all.
it.
See y'all later.
Thank you. And by the way, Yotes in the chat room says this caller is keeping it real. So they love you too, brother.
Yeah.
They love you.
I was gonna say I did what he just did, but I did it on Twitter during the game, and I pissed some people off. So sorry for anybody I pissed off, but you know, alcohol and a bad loss will do that to you. So.
Don't apologize. I got your back.
C3 family, what's up, guys? It's Carolina King, just calling in.
What's up, man?
Watch the game.
Carolina.
Man, I'm gonna just say this. I love my fucking team, dog. I
Sure.
love my team. I love the fight. I love the resiliency. I love all of it. Not to mention the fact that irony is kind of. You see Gerald McCoy get shitted on that play. He turns around, stops it on the 4th down. Now, granted, yeah, we had some, turnovers and stuff, but I'm not quick to say that Kyle is the future, but I will say that I am confident in him taking this team forward this season. That is, we fought well. We fought like hard as we possibly could, man. I feel so proud to be a Panther. So proud to be a Panthers fan right now. But St. Claus, 5-4, not too far away. Season still, still got a great run ahead of us, guys. We're gonna be alright. But you guys take it easy. C3, I'll let y'all boys be safe.
Word up. Thanks for the call. Let's keep pounding.
Hey guys, Kyle from VA. I'm in a heartbreaker game. For all the bullshit calls that we had called against us, and for those guys that were on the podcast from Green Bay, I need an explanation for all them bullshit ass calls. Aaron Rodgers got all these ass calls.
Get him, Greg.
Fuck that dude. I'm pissed off about the Aaron Rodgers situation, but despite all that, in Lambeau, in the damn snow, man's team never quit. They never quit. Kyle Allen never quit.
Yeah,
and
that
right.
is a testament of Kyle Allen.
The season definitely ain't over. That game showed me a lot about this 2019 Carolina Panthers team, man, and we're gonna be straight. We're gonna be good, man. Kyle Allen did his shit. Just to not quit, man, with all them bullshit ass calls. That showed a lot of heart. But yeah, it's still heartbreaking, man. But we're gonna come back even stronger. We ain't giving up yet when we're gonna keep pounding.
Thanks for the call, and I continue to think about this, Cody. Is Kyle Allen, while we want to not focus on him being a better alternative than Cam Newton, is he actually a guy who can produce in the NFL? And I'm starting to think like he is okay. I don't know. I don't know what it takes to be good, but I think this is. Don't you think that the Bears would be better than with Kyle Allen than they would be with Mitch Trubisky?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so. Even though Mitch did throw 3 touchdowns today, but I'm not arguing that Mitch.
Yeah, he did have a good game today.
Hey,
yeah,
Brock finds a nut, man.
Yeah, hey.
Broke clock is right twice a day.
That's right.
Yeah, man, all those good snazzy sayings. Yeah, I do think Kyle Allen has the potential to, play real football. And by the way, Greg Olsen is making some pretty controversial post-game statements, at least as far as Twitter is concerned. He says that today Kyle Allen put on the best fourth quarter performance that he's ever seen from a quarterback.
Nah.
So these are the words of I'm just reporting the news.
I hear you.
I'm just reporting what Greg Olsen says, but a lot of people echoed those same sentiments. So
he must be forgetting about Cam Newton last year against Philly and that 17-point comeback in the fourth quarter. But
I thought that was 2 years ago. Was it last year?
Yeah,
that was last year. For sure.
Last year feels like it was 2 different seasons, just because it does. And ended. So.
It does.
God, it does. Yeah, it feels like a bazillion years ago. Next call.
Hey, what's up, crew? This is Nate from Oregon. Long-time listener.
What's up, Nate?
First time calling in. Tough loss today. Hard to lose it, especially in that way.
Yeah, well.
But a couple of times, I feel like I saw Kyle Allen do some stuff I hadn't seen him do yet. Of course, there were some poor choices, but overall, I feel like he is maturing a little bit, which is awesome. And I'm starting to see him develop a relationship with DJ Moore, which is exciting. DJ Moore had a huge game today. I think the most encouraging thing is that the last time we went to play a good NFC team, it was the Niners. They just blew our pants off. And today, we hung with one of those really good NFC teams. So I feel like it's not a terrible loss. No loss is good, but I feel like if we can hang with them, then we can hang with anybody in the NFC. Love you guys. Thanks for all you do with your show. Look forward to watching. All right. Bye.
Yeah, thanks for the call. And yeah, we do feel like there's a lot to be excited about until you continue to think about that stupid ass run defense. Yeah. And it is so pathetic that it looks like I feel like it's almost like I'm watching kids, a different level of play on one side of the ball. Mm-hmm. And you're like, geez, like, good God. Everybody knew they were running the ball there, and you still let them gas you 9 yards. It's terrible. I don't know. And CK, I will not be able to shut up about it against Seattle unless we figure something out.
Uh-huh.
Well, I think next week we have Atlanta. I thought it was Seattle for whatever reason, but it's Atlanta next week.
It's 2 weeks from now? Oh, my gosh.
No, Atlanta's next week. Next Sunday, a week from today. I was thinking about something while he was saying that, and everybody's pointing out, best fourth quarter. Obviously, we know that's not exactly an accurate statement. A better fourth quarter performance would have been him making an accurate throw to Christian McCaffrey in the flat there, the second to last game or last play of the game.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that saw that too, CK. I thought McCaffrey early on that snap was just waiting for the football.
Yeah, but I don't know if he'd have scored even if he'd have caught it.
Well, here's the thing: is he was about a half a yard away from the end zone, and that was a catchable radius. That if the ball would have been where it should have been, that would have been a catchable ball, and I would have put money on McCaffrey making that play every time. But the ball was thrown about 2 feet away from his foot in the ground, so that was a bit of a disappointing thing. But anyway, nonetheless, I will say this much: we had Cam Newton go out. We have Kyle Allen coming in. He's been able to do a lot of things that, to keep this team in the conversation. And I'm not going to sit here and say that it's the same thing, but I will say when you look back to 2003 when we went to the Super Bowl. It's 2003, right? Yep. Sorry. Yep. What did we have a heavy dose of? We had Jake Delhomme coming in as a backup quarterback. We had a receiver like DJ Moore and Steve Smith, and we had a really strong run game that got us there. Granted, our defense was a lot better, so hopefully we can pick that up. I think our defense has the ability to be really good beyond just – there shouldn't be this narrative of we can get to the quarterback but we can't stop the run. Unfortunately, that's how the NFL works, is if you have a really good pass rush, a lot of times you don't have a great run defense. It's just the way the game plan kind of comes out. But I think that it's when you look at the talent on the team, we have the ability to correct a lot of the issues we have. As long as our coaching staff can look inward and realize that there are some things that need to be adjusted, it can't just be relying on somebody. But there's some parallels you can draw to that 2003 team, and if we can run the table, or if we can even if we can win the game against Seattle, one of the games against New Orleans, the 2 games against the Falcons, and then the Redskins game, I mean, we have an opportunity to really make the last half of our season count. Because if Monday night, if the Seahawks lose to the San Francisco 49ers, then that opens up the wild card spot even more. And so what happened with the Rams? Did the Rams lose?
They did lose, I believe. They were down 14-12 last time I checked in the fourth quarter, but I don't know what the final score was.
So that helps, and then we'll find out what happens with the Vikings, which is going on right now. So
they're beating the shit out of the Cowboys right now.
Are they?
Well, 14-7.
Not beating the shit out of them, but they're not playing.
It was 14-0 at one point, and you said, what was the game you want to know about the Rams?
Yeah.
They lost 17-12 today to Pittsburgh. Okay. And I would say this is, CK, you've been effing everybody up on this podcast, including me. We don't play the Seahawks till the 15th of December.
No, December, yeah.
Holy cow. I've been sitting here going, oh, he said it was the other week. I was like, shit, I'm in Nashville. I got to get my wife. Oh, my God, how am I going to get there? No, it's the Falcons at Panthers this week, Panthers at Saints. Then we go, brother, we're going to be hanging out a lot. Redskins, take a week off. Seahawks, take a week off. Panthers at home, 12-29.
Well, you guys think about it like this. Like you said, we got Atlanta at Carolina next week. Then is it at New Orleans or at Carolina? Either way, we play Atlanta and New Orleans next 2 games.
Yeah. We're at home against the Falcons. On the road
in New Orleans. Okay, just say for instance, New Orleans loses next week too, and we win the next 2 games. We are the leaders of the division then.
Yeah.
With like 4 games left in the season, so. This just proves that football is a very fickle beast, man. I mean, the damn Atlanta Falcons beat the Saints today, who everybody online and everybody, all sports centers, talking about the Saints are an unbeatable team. They're the best team in the NFL. And they got handled by the Not
only did they get handled, they had both of their weapons back from Kamara and Cooks, and they still looked pedestrian at best. They couldn't score a single touchdown. Now, the other piece...
go ahead. Well, I want to say something as soon as you're done, but don't let me interrupt you.
No, I was just going to mention that they looked they didn't have a lot of pop to them. They didn't look like the same Saints that were excited. I still absolutely despise their defense. Their defense are the most arrogant people. If you watch that game, like you see the other team, they're sitting there like, they make a good play. They're not saying the Falcons. I'm not sitting here praising the Falcons. But every time the Saints did something that had nothing to do with them, if somebody dropped the ball who was 10 feet away from the defender just because they made a bad drop, they're sitting there celebrating like they did something. They're
drinking the Kool-Aid, man.
So how about this? Drew Brees today, from what I saw of that game, 2 things. Drew Brees is one of the most immobile quarterbacks that you will ever see, dude. I cannot count. I even texted my brother. My brother's a Saints fan and an LSU fan. So I'm texting my brother, dude, Drew Brees can't outrun an old geriatric woman, dude. Like, there are times when he has room to run and go for a first down. And, dude, he is so slow. I believe Drew Brees is showing his age. He was even missing open receivers, not throwing the football, not missing them, but just not throwing the ball two very clearly open receivers. So I don't know if that's an indication on maybe the Saints are a little bit inflated. Maybe the Falcons had a little bit of giddy up in their step. Or, I mean, I don't know what it is, but the Saints are not an invincible football team. Mm-hmm. And how about this? If you look at our schedule surrounding New Orleans, we have Atlanta at home. We have Washington after that, who is a dumpster fire. We have another Atlanta that's away. Then we have Seattle. Then the Colts. By the way, the Colts lost to the Dolphins today, y'all. They don't have Brissett. So all of a sudden, I mean, our schedule outside of two Saints and Seahawks, I mean, we do not have the worst schedule going forward. We might be in some advantageous situations. So a wild card is not out of the question. And if we want to win the division, this defense has to start playing so much better.
No, we don't have anywhere. Right, yeah. No, you can't even think about the playoffs at that end. Any thought of this? You're talking about Breeze's immobility. What do you think about Kyle Allen? I thought there was a couple of times he could have gotten us first down.
Yeah.
And he didn't run. And I think he was mobile enough to do it.
Oh, yeah. He seemed to have a little bit of pep. I mean, for real. I thought
but I feel like he pulled up a couple of times. You know what I'm saying? When I was like, so almost being decisive when to run is important.
Yeah. It seems like he's been watching Mahomes and thinking that he can throw these crazy passes that
off one leg and shit. Yeah. And he don't got that.
Yeah, like when he threw that interception, I was like, oh my gosh, he has a run lane right there. And then when he backed off and he threw that ball in the end zone, I was like, well, if this is a touchdown, this will be a nice looking play. But when I saw that it was thrown into triple coverage, not double coverage, because there were two defenders in the backside.
Yes, thank you. He threw it into traffic. Remember a couple of times earlier, and the guy said that was in a lot of traffic.
Yeah, and then they said it was in double coverage. I'm like, nope, that was definitely triple coverage. He's
gotten away with a couple of things, and you don't want to be critical because you're wanting him to get away with them.
Did you guys count how many dropped interceptions there were?
No, but did you? Obviously, you did.
I saw a few. Yeah.
I saw at least 3 that were clear, should have been intercepted, but they were bad drops by the defender. That's why I'm not so high on Kyle Allen right now, is because he tried to give that ball away at least 3 more times than the 2 that he got. So,
he did that against Tennessee too.
I know.
There were a few crazy good receptions that were made that the defender just failed to get his hands on the ball when he could have.
Yep.
Now, I do believe that, I mean, especially with our offense, you have to have more than Christian McCaffrey.
Absolutely.
You do have to take those chances, but yeah, you have to protect the football better. And what was once a coveted trait of Kyle Allen, him protecting the football, it's not that way anymore, man. We're in November now. Shit's just different.
Look at it like this too.
Make it quick. We got a ton of calls.
Okay, look at it like this too. While he did make a couple of bad passes, he also avoided a bunch of plays that should have been sacked.
Yeah, he did. That's a good point.
So you got to give him credit for that. And two, he did beat Tennessee last week, and Tennessee just beat Kansas City today.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean anything to me.
It's never changing, man.
That doesn't mean anything to me, though. But okay, I mean, I understand what your point is, but
hey, it's Josh again. Anyhow, the defense did us no favors today. Just little stuff. Not being able to stop things, and then it seemed like whenever we did, there was kind of a favorable penalty for Green Bay, but at the same time, there was like an overall lack of discipline. No real management of gap assignment, no accountability. And some of those run plays were the same type of misdirection stuff the 49ers used. When something has been your flaw, especially 2 games later, you should really start having a grasp on how to fix that problem, or how to just put your guys into positions where those problems don't exist in the same way that they do with your base formation. And another thing I saw today, we saw plenty of
4-3. I think the vast majority of the game we were playing that. And I think 3-4 probably would have been a bit better. I mean, I know we don't favor using that against run-heavy teams, but really, I think it would have done better in the end.
Well, whatever we did today didn't work. That's for
going
sure.
A whole lot further, and it sucks because we had a window open today. The Saints lost. Oh my God, they lost to Atlanta of all teams. That should tell you something. The door was left open. We had the chance. We had the chance to more than just jam our foot in there. We had a chance to book in, and depending on a couple of the outcomes of a couple other games, we could have been knocking right on the door. We were right there for being in the playoffs. And I think if a couple things went right, we would have been in. We would have definitely been in the wild card seat, I believe. So, yeah, it's just a damn shame. It's a real damn shame. There were some times where it looked close, but in the end, they just couldn't pull it out. And that's what I really wanted to see. As somebody who's been admittedly critical of Kyle Allen, I thought this was it. I'm like, all right, this kid's going to do it. He's going to go out and lay down the law in Green Bay, in Lambeau.
I didn't think that.
Snow.
I thought he played way better than I expected him to play.
And instead, he went out there and shit his pants.
I don't think so at all.
That's all I got to say. Goodbye.
Next call.
Hey guys, it's DJ in Raleigh. If this don't move to the point that coach needs to go, I don't know what.
Cody, you can take this. Go.
Like, he's supposed to be coaching the defense now, but defense is getting gashed all day on the ground. And the offensive calling was predictable. And then the fact at the end, you run the ball with 4 seconds left. What? Coach got to go. I want us to keep Cam, but fire Coach and the rest of that staff. Coach, Noah Turner, all of them need to go. Because we could have won this game, but we had dumb play calling. I get it's in the elements, snow, but that last play call is no excuse. Still a Panther fan for life, but this is getting ridiculous at this point. Let the podcast keep pounding.
Thanks, DJ.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, I just called to say Cam would have won that game. That's all. Bye.
Listen to this. Yeah,
Cam would have won.
One more time.
Yeah, I just called to say Cam would have won that game. That's all.
Hey, man, listen, on the replay, they had some running lanes, boy. And God, no, I said I wasn't going to talk about it, so I'm not. I'm not
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm ready for Tuesday with that.
All right, next call.
Hey, it's Nate from Oregon again. I just got to come to my boy Cody's defense here. You guys are talking about tackling and whether or not it's on players or the coaching staff. I'm actually a music teacher, and so I have to get my kids ready to perform all the time. And we have a saying, we don't practice until we get it right. We practice it until we can't do it wrong anymore. And so that's what Cody's saying. The coaches have got to drill. Not until they know how to tackle, but until it's impossible for them to tackle wrong. Anyway, love you guys.
That's
all right,
great
bye.
in theory.
Dang, of course.
Great in theory. It's great in theory, but it doesn't matter.
From a teacher, no less.
Doesn't matter. It's like...
Yeah, it doesn't
Tony
matter.
had the same argument the other way with the period in a sentence, and it works just as well. So it's great in theory, but it doesn't matter if you don't execute the play.
When it's every Sunday, it is. When it's
And I want you guys here. I do want to give you guys this: is that if you ever go to a NFL practice, which I've never been to the specific just a practice alone, but I've been in training camp several times. They barely practice shit, bro. Like, that's the thing, is like how they move the needle. I don't really understand. I've seen these guys run one play one time and they move on and they're like, you got it? Yep, everybody got it. Moving on. It is an hour and 45-minute limit with, I just don't think it's not the My thing is this, is that I don't believe coaches in the NFL get what a lot of people think are the opportunity to coach in that mindset of like, oh, well, you did it wrong. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Up, downs, up, downs. Nope. In the NFL, it don't work like that. They don't do shit like that. They're just all patting everybody on the back.
But they do practice.
That's not the coach's fault.
But not practice tackling. They practice no hit, no thudding. There ain't no thudding during the week, Cody.
Every other team in the NFL has the same practice rules that we do,
and every other
it's
team
not
in
a
NFL
problem.
misses
But every
Who
other
thuds? Who thuds in practice?
Not on the level that the Panthers defense does it. I do not, for the life of me, understand why y'all are so badly want to absolve Ron Rivera of this issue of tackling. I guarantee you that everyone on our team.
How do you practice it? How do you practice it? How do you practice it?
You have to drill it. They literally have drills.
They can't. They don't even put pads on during practice, bro.
They're not allowed to, Cody.
Yes, they do. They practice for the game during the week.
I'm going to bring these stats.
They do walkthroughs, dude. Like, half of the week is just walkthroughs, dude.
Okay,
there
so
ain't no thudding.
That all of our players have just never, ever learned how to tackle.
Yes, I will say this. Yes, I will say that. Yes, is that it's a fundamental issue in the NFL because they've limited practice time in college as well. Exactly. Muggs ain't thudding there either. So, no, yeah, I will say that. Yes. No, go see what these practices look like. What can you do in an hour?
Those are the open practices, Tony. Those aren't the ones that you're not seeing during the week.
They ain't thudding in those practices that were closed.
But
they ain't light modes up.
If you're going to tell me that other defenses,
how do you teach somebody to be like this? It's thud them there.
Problem that we're dealing with now.
Yes,
I'm watching football right now. But it doesn't seem like Dallas has a problem making a tackle, or Minnesota, or the Patriots.
2 touchdowns in the first 2 drives. You tell me there's no missed tackles. You tell me there's no missed tackles.
All right, next call. Guys, I agree. I disagree. I'm with Greg on this.
I'm sorry. I'm going to make this quick. But
I'm going to go get a beer. You got cover this call, Cody.
Got hurt, and they start rotating these guys in and everything like that. That's when they really start to get pressure. But in the beginning of the game, will Kyle Allen ever learn to step up? Like those sacks that he was taking in the beginning was on him. He had time to step the fuck up.
Not bad.
Now, I hate to pile on to Kyle Allen, but like these are basic things. Like his arm is not going to get stronger. Like to play in our offense with the speed that we have, we need somebody with a strong arm. I prefer to keep Cam for one more year at least.
I do too.
But if you're not going to keep him, don't give us Kyle Allen and think that that's going to be enough. And damn sure don't give us Will Real. He couldn't even beat out Kyle Allen. Anyway, guys, I mean, like I said, I'm not even mad about the loss. We lost to a good team. It's just how we lost, and it was because of incompetence of a head coach that has been doing this same shit forever, for years.
Over and over.
And he is going to go up at the podium and say, oh, we have missed opportunities. And he's going to try to say that he was putting faith in the Kyle Allen and everything while he went for 2. He's going to make up all these excuses. He needs to take some goddamn responsibility. Anyway, guys, I can't wait to hear the show. Keep pounding.
Well, keep pounding. I mean, yeah, go ahead.
Real quick, Cody, I just want to say, you're speaking in absolutes when you're talking about Ron Rivera, and that's what I'm trying to get you to get away from. Is I'm not saying that Ron Rivera is not at fault for a lot of the things that happen. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is he's not at fault for everything that happens, and that's what you're trying to make it out to be. You're trying to make it out to be that if there's a missed tackle, every missed tackle is Ron Rivera's fault, and it's not. Some may be, and some of it can be put on the training and the coaching and everything else, but everything that happens is not his fault. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he's not at fault. He is at fault. He's at fault for a lot of things, a ton of things, and I can point them out with you, but he's not at fault for everything, and we've got to start putting some responsibility on the players as well.
100%. I hear you 100%. The reason why I'm saying that it is mainly Rivera over the players is because if it was a few missed tackles every here and there, then yeah, I could understand the argument of, man, Eric just didn't wrap up, Dante just wasn't doing his due diligence, Luke, Shaq, whoever. But the fact that there are so many different times that it happens over and over, we're not talking about a few little isolated incidents here. We're not talking about
Reed doesn't ever wrap up, dude. Reed has
whose
never.
fault is that? Dante
How about
has never wrapped up.
what about the four? What about the four? What about the four coaches before him? Why didn't they teach him that?
Because there were missed tackles there too.
Yeah, I mean, obvious. Like that's the thing is that like it's not his first rodeo. You know, it's not his first rodeo.
A great tackler, but again, like
Trey Bros has never been a great tackler. That's why he stunk his whole career. But dude, like he also went to two other teams. Yeah, but he also played with the Cardinals and the Chargers. So why didn't they fix him?
The fact of the matter is, other teams are not.
It's not that simple. You can't just. I don't think you coach tackling in the pros. Can you coach tackling in the pros? Is the real question.
Every other team disagrees with you. Are you going to tell me that?
Why? You can't say every other team. You can't. That is such a lie. That's such a lie. Then yes, I would say. Well, the Jets don't. Oh, well, of course we're not. But that's not because of the coach not teaching tackling.
The Packers do. The 49ers do. The Saints do. I can go.
They teach tackling better. They teach tackling. That's where they're better.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
They do.
So Cody,
I'm so on the other side of the planet.
Today when the Saints got whooped. Today when the Saints got whooped by the Falcons.
Right.
Yep. They don't teach tackling, Greg.
Twice. I mean, come on. You're going to tell me that these other defenses are having the same tackling problems on a routine basis as the Panthers are? Come on.
Do you know the number of tackles the Saints missed today? Because I don't, but I guarantee it's just as many as the Panthers missed today, and they got whooped by 1-17.
I don't know. I watched that game.
So is it because they have bad coaches?
Listen, I'll go around in a circle on this.
Because we don't agree.
Well, all right, fine, but the evidence is all on my side.
That's
all I'm saying.
Not true.
Well,
show me stats. Show me stats, and the evidence will be on your side. You have no stats to back up what you're saying.
The callers are on my side.
You have no stats to back up what you're saying.
Most of the people in the chat room are on my side.
And they have no stats either.
Look at the best defenses in the NFL. They are not having the same problems that we are.
Pull the stats
up. Of course, but we've been a best defense before. So if we've been a best defense before, are you trying to tell me that our coaches just forgot how to coach?
Are you telling me our players forgot how to play?
That's what you've been.
The players forgetting how to play is much more likely than the coaches forgetting how to coach, because the players are the ones executing the plays. The players are the ones who are making the tackles.
Well, they would have had to have remembered how to play first before they can forget how to play. Let's go on to the next call.
Yo, what up? It's Josh the Minute Cat from Math. Man, what a rough loss, guys.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, yeah, okay, let's start with some of the obvious. Yes, Green Bay got some real favorable calls at the end of the game. Or not at the end of the game, but a few towards the beginning of the game. Well, it was intentional grounding in the end zone, so that's a safety. But we're roughing the passer. It was BS. Then there was a few others that they got away. They got away with a lot of holding. I mean, yeah, I get it. Every play there's technically holding, but my God, some of it is just gratuitous and it doesn't get called. Aside from that, though, we did ourselves no favors. And again, this has been one of my complaints with Kyle Allen is we hadn't seen him play from behind and win a game. And I feel like today being able to put a drive together that did that would have helped. And you go, well, it's play calling and this and that. But he got flustered real easily under pressure and at times just missed flat out open opportunities to to exploit the defense. And even if it's, there's multiple plays where Christian McCaffrey was wide open, it's nothing crazy, but a 7-yard gain. And he just opted to not throw that way. And again, I think this is something I said before. He's just not going through his progression. As soon as he gets under pressure, it's a 1-2 read, and that's it. He's not looking for anything. He wasn't even looking for his dump off. Good to see Greg Olsen step up and make some plays in moments where it was really needed. Same with CMC, pulling out an extra 2-3 yards after it looked like a play was done. Dante had some real nice pass breakups and some defenses, and then there was, the period where he was out where I feel like they just went at that side.
He is such a boomer bust player,
what the
dude.
heck's his name? Colt Luke. They just exploited him and took advantage of the fact that he didn't know. You could tell he had no idea what the hell was going on. He was just getting burnt. And our defense as a whole against the run, I'm sorry, guys, but with the amount of teams that have a great run offense this year, especially in the NFC, I don't see us being able to really hang. I'm out of time.
Is there any concern, Cody, about Dante Jackson becoming a really good corner? And why I raised that question is that it seems like all of his greatness, or most of his greatness, is based on his athleticism, and he catches up real quick.
Yeah, that's one part. But I think it also, one of the things that bugged me slightly, I want him to be good, but the issue is he continues to make the same mistakes over and over. And I'm not going to talk about the coaching aspect of it. That's just going to add another conversation that I think everybody's ready to move past. But I do think that there's clearly conversations just based on the All or Nothing film, which I know was very villainous, putting him in like this villain role for that entire program. But he clearly has an issue with criticism, right? He has an issue with being told this is the better way of handling it, this is the better way of handling it, but he's still not making those adjustments and handling things the way that they should be handled. Instead, he feels like however he's doing his thing is the best way to do things. That's the only gripe I have about it, because I do feel like either he makes the best play or he's getting beat. Like it's unfortunate, but I mean, most of the time that we've seen an issue has been on his side of the field. Bradbury hasn't been letting people go. And
sometimes when he makes a good play, CK, it's a bad play he recovered from.
Yeah. If it's an underthrown ball, well, that's because he was already behind the player. If it was an overthrown ball, well, if that would have been placed right, that would have been a really big gainer. Or even that pass interference call last game. He was actually just lucky to be in that position. Granted, there was a PI push-off that put him in that position, but, it's still, I haven't seen people be afraid to go to him. And that's what I feel like you see with Bradbury. You see people afraid to throw the ball his way. He's got and anybody who wants to argue Bradbury's effectiveness, he is the second lowest passer rating when thrown against him of any corner in the NFL, with 80% of the snaps of the team's snaps. Like, I'm just telling you, Bradbury is a good corner when you look at it from that perspective. So they're not afraid of Dante Jackson. I think we need somebody who, I think Dante would be a really good slot corner, just based on the speed and the fact that you have to cover some speedy slot receivers. But and sometimes these really fast running backs out of the backfield.
He's super young though, too. That's the thing, is this is his second season. There's still an opportunity for him to improve on the mature. And I'll tell you this, is I work with young people all the time. I work with 16 through 20-year-olds all day long. And I was one of them too. And I don't know if I'm still good at taking criticism.
Yeah.
It's difficult.
So I do think, but you're right, is that he's not becoming more and more technique sound. Where you're just like, all of a sudden, it just continues to look like he's relying on that insane speed.
On the speed. I haven't felt like he's gotten better. That's my thing. This is year 2.
Yeah.
You should see an increase in progress, and I don't feel like we've seen it, even from a tackling perspective, forgetting about coaching for a minute, just from the ability to, read coverages and not keep your eyes so peeled on the backfield that you're biting on every pump fake that comes your way. I mean, those are just things that I feel like you're supposed to learn, and in year 2 you should see more of that. And I almost still feel like he's a rookie this year.
Coaching is a problem with that, I would also say.
Oh God!
Well, hey, real quick before we go to the next call, I've been doing a little research here, and I pulled up some stats. Y'all want to hear some tackling stats?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Anybody?
I mean, if you want to convince me to not believe my eyes, please go ahead.
I'm going to try to convince you to believe stats, not your eyes. So I'm going to go by the Pro Football Focus, which I would agree is probably better at analyzing this stuff than we are. Not saying we're bad at it, but probably better than we are. And they go by the number of snaps based on total missed tackles as a percentage per team. So Carolina ranks 13th in the NFL for missed tackles, okay? Above them, for teams that are better, have a better percentage of tackle, like a better percentage of non-missed tackles. So ranked 1 through 10 is better. The Cleveland Browns are better. The Niners are better. The Bears are better. The Eagles are better. The Houston Texans are better. The Broncos are better. The Vikings are better. The Jets are better. The Bills are better. The Titans team than Carolina. Here's the better part. You want to hear the teams that are worse at tackling than Carolina, and then you tell me it's coaching? The Patriots, the Bengals, the Ravens, the Steelers, the Colts, the Seahawks, the Packers, the Redskins, the Chiefs, the Cardinals, the Giants, the Lions, the Falcons, the Rams, Cowboys, Raiders, Jaguars, Bucks, and Saints are all
Get 'em,
by
Greg.
statistic.
I
By
call
statistics,
bullshit to the top of my head.
Right here, buddy.
What metrics are they
all
using?
worse tackling teams than Carolina.
So
you tell me that coaching is
Get
worse.
them, Greg. Get them. The Browns are the best team in the NFL.
That's the line.
You're gonna tell me that the Saints are near the bottom of the league in missed tackles?
Can I interject here for a minute?
And what is PFF using to come up with these numbers?
Number
What's
of
their
plays,
methodology?
number of plays that the defense has been on there, and missed tackles each team has in the average. Okay,
so here's the problem. Here's the problem with that metric. Here's the problem with that metric. For a second, let me explain that. Those are missed tackles of people who've actually gotten a hold of them. The problem with our missed tackles is they're not just. Hold on, just a second. Hold on. The part of this that is frustrating is it's not that we're getting our hands on them a lot of times. It's that we're not in our gaps when we're supposed to be.
It's the Red Sea. It's parting the Red Sea.
The argument. You can't add caveats to the argument.
Here's the thing. A missed tackle, in my opinion, is if there's somebody within 5 yards who can tackle him, who has a clear line to be able to do it, but they make a bad decision and they're not able to make that tackle. That's a missed tackle. It's not.
So how do you know they're not including that in here?
Tell me how that would be a stat that they would actually be able to include.
But how can you use that? How can you use that if you can say that you can't include? You can't use that if they can't.
I can see it. Their nose up in the air.
The video.
I do want to support CK on this. Is that what we're seeing when we see the Panthers? Isn't just guys shedding blockers and shedding tackles.
Okay.
But it is also just a poor ass run defense.
You cannot tell me that the Patriots have a worse problem tackling than the Carolina Panthers.
The Patriots, by the book, have missed 6 more tackles than the Panthers have this year.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. I saw this as a problem last year too. Like it's the same thing over and over, man. Like this is a Ron Rivera, Eric Washington problem. It's been a problem with them. Guess what? It's going to continue to be a problem. It's not going to go away, man.
Okay. Hey,
I don't think the way that Cody, I don't think the way going forward there to argue your point is to say that the tackling is the coach's fault. I think then you need to pivot your argument to they're not calling the right defense.
Okay.
The right
plays.
That's
a different argument. That's a different argument. I'll give you that.
That is that is a different one. And if we are calling a pass,
I don't think we're calling it a bad defense.
That's what I'm saying, man. I don't think the players are making the plays, dude.
They're not putting the players in the right spot. They're not teaching the.
That's Luke Kuechly's fault. Yes. He's the quarterback of the defense. He puts players in spots.
No, it's not.
Before every single play, Luke Kuechly is putting people in place.
If they're not putting them in the right spot, they're calling the wrong play. That's the thing. If they're not putting them in the right spot, then they are calling the wrong play.
I think it's a mixture of both.
Coaches. It's both of them.
Thank you. That's all I wanted to hear. It's both of them.
I just don't feel like.
But the fault still lies with But the more of the fault still lies with the coaches if they're missing tackles because they're not in the right spot.
I just don't understand how you're absolving the players on them being sucky as shit against the run. That's what you guys are doing.
How many times?
No, we're not. We're saying that it's the fault of the coaches when it's a consistent problem like it is.
So you're telling me if we fired Ron Rivera, we would all of a sudden, and got a different coach, we'd all of a sudden make more tackles?
But what other coach are we talking about? Not just any other coach. I mean, come on. Who are we talking about here? If it's
let's go with Kyle Shanahan, you're a fucking big dick motherfucker.
Sean, let's go with how about Sean Payton?
I'll tell you what. Sean Payton for the Saints, who are the 32nd ranked team in tackling. Okay. How about let's see, the Oakland Raiders, John Gruden, the 29th ranked team in tackling.
This is awesome. All right, let's go to the next call. We're never getting out of the show. Next call. Break up this. Take a breath. Go to your corners. Go to your corners. Go to your corners.
Hey guys, Freddie calling. This is my first time. Only a long-time listener. I was, watching the Hornets lose to the 76ers right now, right after the Panthers game. But I was calling because I'm 100% behind Cody. Everybody else talking the podcast.
That's one for one. I had somebody call me.
100%.
Nobody loves. He's the most loved person.
Garbage.
He is, man. Everybody loves Cody. He's lovable.
The last two play calls.
Very lovable.
You have to give the ball to Christian on the first and goal.
We're so jealous of you.
Passing play. Then the second play, you go for Christian. I'm like, no, that's the wrong play call on second down. Right? Literally have 4 seconds left. You do not run the ball with 4 seconds left. So I'm 100% with Cody. I had quite a few beers now, so I may not be making a lot of sense, but I'm 100% behind Cody, brother. Everything he's saying. And Professor,
these 4 o'clock games
I don't know
tough.
What's going on.
They are.
Honestly, I don't know what's going on, but he messed up big time. Kyle Allen is not the answer, and they were not putting the ball in Christian's hand like they should have over and over again.
Pretty good game.
But guys, I love the show. Keep it up. Thanks.
Man, thanks for the call, and Cody loves you.
Thanks you, man, for being on my side.
Listener, first time caller.
Hold on, I'm gonna start this
that
over.
Was a game. This is Brandon, a long-time listener, first-time
What's
caller.
up, Brandon?
That was a game. I know that y'all been arguing about, Fire Riviera and stuff like that. And for me, I'll always be on that train. I'll never get off of it. I've pretty much been sick of him since 2014.
Okay.
Also, Kyle Allen lost us that game as much as our defense did, and he got very, very lucky. In fact, on that last drive, I believe, where he threw that almost that interception was very, very reminiscent of the interception that Norman threw, that Norman caught back in 2015. It's just a bad throw, and unless the wide receiver jumps forward, most of the time the cornerback will catch that, and it's 6 points. When it gets down to it, I know this sounds selfish. I'm just tired of mediocrity. I think we're seeing exactly what happens when Tim is gone and that Riviera can't ride on his coattails anymore. So for me, I'll always say fire Riviera.
Riviera.
I know. I'm sorry. Me too.
I just want the entire day.
I might call him that the rest of the season.
But I just want to rebuild.
We totally are.
We're so bad. I don't want it to be bad that we get the number 1 pick, but in my opinion, if that ends up means that we get, a replacement for Cam, or especially if we end up being dumb and we end up releasing him next year. So, just like you say, I enjoyed the podcast. I will listen to it. in my work van. It's fun. And
yeah,
like
thank
I said,
you.
I'll always support the Panthers no matter what they do.
Thanks for tuning in the show,
guys. Love your podcast. Thanks.
And you have added so much to the show because I think we're all on the Fire Riviera train.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's
Ron
like
Riviera. Boy, I tell you what, Ron
Riverboat
Riviera.
Riviera.
Ron Riviera.
Ron
I tell you
Riviera.
what. You know what? Ron Riviera can't coach tackling very well from my perspective.
I agree. You've won me over.
Coaches are better than 22
Ron
other
Riviera.
He's better. I better sitting on the Riviera drinking beer than I am trying to tackle mugs on the Sunday football field. What a call. Oh, yeah, fantastic. Thank you for supporting the show. Keep listening to it in the work van.
By the way, he's on my side, though. He's up on the
side. Yeah, of course. Everybody is on your side, Cody. We got it.
Hamburger Hill, man. It's like I said. Anybody tries to take it's going to get slaughtered.
I think this
we
is
ain't
Josh.
going to no playoffs with Kyle Allen, you guys. He
is that
finished the game strong, but my God.
Nah. I think it might be a stoned Josh from Mass.
Like, I don't know. Oh, man. This season has been a fucking nightmare, man.
I think that's G Baby from Utah.
This has been a fucking nightmare. Like, oh my God.
You mean D Nice is nice?
This is rough. But then I hear that Ian Rappaport, or whatever the fuck his name is, a pretty reliable source, but I still don't believe that shit. The day I'm gonna believe it when we fucking trade Cam Newton. Like, if we're dumb enough to trade Cameron, Jarrell Newton, like, I swear to God, bro. I swear to God, everything I fucking love, it would be hard for me to be a Panther fan again. Like, I found myself having a hard time forgiving the Panthers for letting Josh Norman to go, let alone Steve Smith. When we let go Steve Smith, like, I didn't watch a Panther game for at least 3 weeks, fellas. But if we let Cam Newton go, let alone trade him, it would be the biggest mistake. Hear me out, Panther Nation. It will be the biggest mistake any fucking franchise, any organization has ever made with their fucking players, bro.
I don't know. San Diego got a breeze.
We will go downhill. Like, we will regress. It looks like we're going to have a whole season to see Kyle Allen. Turnover machine. Hesitation. Dude hasn't even fucking hit puberty yet. He had some great throws in that snow, but damn it, man. This was supposed to be a magical season. This really was supposed to be a magical fucking season. Like, imagine if we had Cam Newton, bro. All those times Kyle should have scrambled. You don't think Cam Newton can get that shit? In a
fair
heartbeat?
argument. It's a fair point.
So many plays left out on coach. Did you see fucking Greg Olsen drop his head? Well, the communication isn't the same between him and fucking Kyle Allen.
He was upset. He was
David
upset.
Tepper, I swear to God, bruh. You trade Cam Newton. I've been a Panther fan for going on my 16th season. A real Panther fan. That shit will break my fucking heart.
No.
Well, was that the end of the call?
I think so.
No, man, listen, that's why I'm not choosing to talk about this tonight. I'm saving that energy for Tuesday. I feel the same way, man. I feel the same way. That would absolutely, and I'm glad that he used those words, man, because it would break my fucking heart. It would break all of our hearts. That the moment that you start to put pieces on this team, that this is what's happened to Cam Newton. Are we not the same fucking team that let Thomas Davis come back after 3 consecutive ACL tears? Like, come on, dude. This dude has put his body through too much, and you're just going to sell the ship on him the minute that he has some injury concerns? Like, fuck that shit. And it does piss me off because, like, with this one tweet that came out said, normally all Adam Schefter or Ian Rappaport, they're not just putting their opinions out there. So it makes me think that they do have some kind of source or whatever that's maybe close to Tepper that thinks that they're looking at moving on, which it makes it all the more infuriating, man. It absolutely pisses me off. It would be absolutely heartbreaking. And yeah, man, it's the dumbest shit in the world.
All right, next call.
Hey, this is Brandon, a long-time listener, first-time caller.
We heard this one, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that was a game.
All right, so then this is...
The Saints lost, too.
Yep.
This is our prime, opportunity to make a move in our division. And we fucking blew it again. Again.
Still there.
We had plenty of chances to win that game, fellas. But like I said, when you turn the ball over twice in key situations, we had a chance. We still had a chance to come back in that game. With the 2 mistakes Kyle Allen made, we still had an opportunity to come back in this game and win this fucking game.
Yes, we did.
North fucking Turner, you dumb son of a bitch. You should have gave the fucking ball to White Job in the first place, not the second one. The first one should have gone to fucking MVP. You don't want to fucking put the ball in fucking Kyle Allen's hands when all it's doing is snowing. You fucking hand the ball off. We know what we're doing. The defense is playing on their heels. They're not going to know if we run the ball or not.
This guy's more angry than I was.
I love G, man. That's my spirit
My
animal.
God! Holy fuck! That shit pissed me off. You give the ball to the MVP.
Yeah.
On the goal line. But
I said the same thing, man.
First place he should have ran. That should have been the first one, not the second one, man. God damn it. 5-4. We're 5-4. We ain't going to no playoffs. We need to seriously sit down and reevaluate this fucking season, man. Because our schedule doesn't get any easier. It doesn't. And there's some lot of elite fucking players coming out of this year's draft. If we can get one more weapon, and like I said, we got bigger fish to fry, man. We got to figure out what we're gonna do with Cam Newton, man. We should already know. This shouldn't even be a fucking question. You let him play out his last year. What the fuck?
Yeah.
But it's just funny. Oh, the Panthers need to trade him to the Denver Broncos. If he goes to the Denver Broncos, I'll never watch the NFL again.
I'm with you, bro.
Yeah.
But it's he's good enough to get traded to all these fucking teams, though, right? But he's not good enough to play for the fucking franchise that he's held over his fucking back.
That's a fair argument.
8 to 9 seasons. Look at where Carolina was before we got Cam Newton.
All right,
man.
thanks for the call. We're gonna go ahead and move on for this reason. Is that we're gonna talk about that plenty on Tuesday night. Cody's vowed to not talk about it. I have vowed to
even
talk
though I
about
just did.
I do think there is a good discussion to have based on the information that's come out, and I continue to say that Kyle Bailey from WFNZ is the only voice of reason on this in the media, particularly the Charlotte media, who continues just to say this, is there's nothing that indicates right now that if Cam Newton can play in 2020, that it wouldn't be a good idea for the Panthers to have him play for them.
Yeah.
And that's how continues to be all of our positions. I think we will get into that on Thursday. Don't forget to subscribe to the C3 Panthers podcast on YouTube and check us out on the audio format, iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, where on Tuesday night we're going to talk about that. And I think, and you know what, is I feel like I should get some goddamn credit for this, is I've continued to say this, is that there's zero reason to move on from Cam until you have to.
Yeah.
You know, and that is just simply put. And I don't want to hear this shit about he needs a contract. I heard Bill Vogt talking this shit. The same thing. Now the team media is saying this, is that they don't think Cam's going to play without a new contract. Shut up. No. Yeah, we have no reason. This is all misinformation. That, right? No, I do. I would say this, is that they can say that all they want, just like Melvin Gordon could sit out 6 games and not get jack shit. He didn't get jack shit. You know what I'm saying? Because if you think that if Cam Newton sits out for the first 6 games, that the Panthers are going to cave and give him a 5-year deal?
Not with Kyle Allen.
No. We're having a different conversation. But the reason why they're mentioning that, which again, I'm on your side, man. And Cam Newton all the way.
He's got to play though.
But if I think what they're saying is, and why they just don't know, is if he's going to be a free agent after this next year, and then he gets hurt during the middle of the season or whatever, then that tanks his ability to go sign with another team later on. But
is that for every player in the last year of their contract.
I understand. It doesn't mean that the Panthers would or should do it.
It's an overblown argument. Question. No, I don't. Well, I mean, all right, I'll let you say this. It's legitimate because you have the ability to ask it. It's not legitimate because the Panthers
I think therefore
will pay. Yeah, he will pay. We're going to pay them $20 million next year. Cam Newton has not played 3 seasons in a row, full seasons. There is, and you know what? And Darren Gant put this great on WFNZ. Yes, there is an idiot out there somewhere. If you want to find an idiot, we can find an idiot. But don't you think it would be idiotic to pay Cam Newton before you saw him play a full season?
I mean,
like off of his potential. That just doesn't make any sense. So listen, we want your calls 252-228-5098. Let's keep going. Is this the same call?
Shitting on this man's name.
He's back.
Literally shitting on Cam's name, man. It's bullshit. This is gonna be a long season. The rest of this half of the season is gonna feel like a full season. I'm telling you guys right now. Be ready. And then it's gonna be a long off season for the Carolina Panthers, especially
always
for me.
A long
Can I
off
take this shit to heart? I'm broken. My heart's broken. I can't believe this shit. We have all the talent in the world, man. Some bullshit. So, we need to figure out what we're going to do because there's a lot of talent coming out of this year's draft, man. Let alone receivers. Hopefully we can sign Cam or let him play out his last season, get him another weapon, fix his defense. His defense is playing straight boo-boo-to-boo-boo trash. How our defense in a better position because he's turning the ball over.
This is such a good caller.
I'm just mentioning, fellas, I'm heated, I'm broken, and this shit. My God, hopefully the fucking Cowboys fucking lose tonight.
Oh, yes,
awesome.
Please.
They're coming
back.
I
can say to Panther Nation to keep your heads up and keep pounding, man. This is going to be a long season, but keep pounding. Much love, man. I love the C3 podcast, man. I listen to this shit on the fucking daily, man. I love this shit, man.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, man.
Thank you, brother.
I love seeing my organization fucking shit.
We love this call, though.
That's just crazy to me. He has every right to finish out his contract for this team, man.
That's what my point is. I'm with you on that, 100%.
I swear to God, bro. Ron Rivera, dude, what the hell? And motherfucking North Turner, dude. This season is over, fellas.
We're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about this on Tuesday night. We're gonna talk. Thank you for your call. We're gonna talk about that a ton on Tuesday night. But I agree is that on the other hand, while I continue to say Cam needs to play and show us a full season, is that I think that would be premature to say that he's done and to cut him or to trade him. So we'll talk about that on Tuesday. Here's the next call.
Yeah. Guys, this is Ted from Arkansas.
What's up, Ted?
Real heartbreaker today. I just wanted to point out that the last time we had a great defense, Ron Rivera and Eric Washington were not the coordinators. We had great coordinators and a great defense.
I don't know.
The past 2 years has been Eric Washington and Ron Rivera.
Sean McDermott. That's what he's pointing to.
There's your answer to why our defense sucks.
That's what he's pointing to. Wow.
Okay.
Get after it.
Sean McDermott and Steve Wilkes was, say what you want. He didn't get a chance really in Arizona, but everyone says that Steve Wilkes is one of the better cornerback coaches backfield coaches that there is. So
I tell you, Steve Wilkes is a coach that you could convince me to hire.
Yeah,
like
imagine
he is
Steve
so
Wilkes on
smooth.
defense.
He's so smooth spoken. He is so. You know what I'm saying? He's a leader of it's like this stern resolve. But Steve Wilkes gets my juices flowing.
Yeah.
Next
imagine
call.
Steve Wilkes on defense and Greg Roman on offense.
One last.
Oh, well, coming back, right? Coming back.
Guys, this is Ted from...
No, all right, next one.
Hey, this is Joe again. One last thing. You should not be surprised when after the season, Christian McCaffrey goes and get his knees scoped. We're watching it clear day. They do not give a fuck about if he's taking plays off. I don't know if they don't let him. I'm sure he doesn't want to, but he needs to. We're not trying to just have, just one great season, and he's hurt every year. They need to figure out, they need to give the other running back to touch it. Christian McCaffrey should not be in the fucking game all game. That's unexcusable. That doesn't make sense. He's going to get hurt.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. And then we're going to fuck. Well, Christian McCaffrey injured away from being terrible.
I want to speak on this.
So, I haven't even got on the Cam stuff. But, everybody, get rid of Cam. Okay. We are a Christian McCaffrey injury from being terrible. This defense is not a good defense.
Yeah, but
so,
you can say that about any team.
You got some stuff. Front office needs to be figured out. Tepper, I like that he hasn't been in the business, but maybe he needs to speak up and say something, because he's been quiet. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but at the same time, we need to think about, this Christian McCaffrey. I love him, but I want to keep loving him for seasons on and not, So, like I said, don't be surprised after the season, because they don't tell us about injuries, that he gets his knee scoped from, running every fucking play. So, all right, keep talking.
That's speculation.
Listen,
There's no evidence of that.
Okay, but listen, I want to go first on this. This is why I've been trying to tell everybody that we have to start making decisions with the future of our franchise involved in our now decision making. So my point is this: if you look at how we've used Cam Newton, ever since we've had him, we're running him. He's getting hit. That's how he likes to play. But we depend on Cam Newton. But what happens is later on down the road, when you need a vintage Cam Newton, you don't have him anymore because he's hurt and his body is breaking down. And instead of having a 20-year quarterback, we're talking about maybe having a 10-year quarterback. What I'm saying is this same principle goes to Christian McCaffrey. And it doesn't mean that he would be any less important to what we do on offense. It doesn't mean that we're not going to depend on him, that we're not going to go to him in the big moments. But we have to be able to start incorporating another running back into our offense more effectively than we do now. It opens up our playbook to have a different running back come in and be able to do some different shit. To have two running backs. The Browns got back Kareem Hunt today, and they were already using two running back sets with Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. And yet we just can't do that. I'm sorry. For the future of such a talented player like Christian McCaffrey, we do have to give other running backs some time. Let Bonifant have the ball. Let Scarlett have the ball. Do some more inventive shit in your backfield for the benefit of your MVP caliber running back.
Yeah.
Somebody give Cameron Artis Payne the goddamn ball.
Thank you. Yes.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
That would make sense 3 years ago.
Almost like it's a coaching issue.
Cody, where I have to poke a hole in your argument there is when you can't use the Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb argument there because. No, well, here's why. One because Kareem Hunt is fresh. He hasn't played all year, and we don't have hold on. We don't have a Kareem Hunt and a Nick Chubb on our team.
We don't know that yet.
Yeah, how would we know if we don't play him?
Oh, well, yeah. Nah, I got to be with Bad Daddy on that. Is we know that
how
those
dudes...
How do
you know if you don't play him?
Because we've seen Kareem Hunt be a top running back in the league.
Kareem
Hunt. But Kareem Hunt was not dead. He was not expected to be a good running back.
Wasn't Kareem Hunt like a 5th round pick?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you know unless you have?
Do you know that? Here, let me put. Can I put this in a little perspective? How great the coaching can make you win. Is Andy Reid lost to the Titans today?
That's what I said earlier.
Oh my god, that was the point I
us.
made earlier. And everybody laughed at me. I'm just saying
that has nothing to do with us.
Why not? Why is he not an awful coach? He lost to the fucking Titans.
It's not losing a game that matters. It's what you do in that game to lose that game. We're talking about different shit.
Here's my counter to that, Cody. Is there are certain players in the league that stand out above all, that are just different than everybody else. You look at Adrian Peterson and Emmitt Smith, guys who lead the NFL in all-time rushing. They're exceptions to the rule. Christian McCaffrey is that kind of guy. He's going to break records this year that have never. I mean, he has the possibility this year of having the most yards ever from scrimmage. He's going to put up numbers that the MVP quarterback, whoever's going to win quarterback MVP this year, he's going to rival them in yards and touchdowns. Okay, most players don't do that. Dude, he's on track to have 3,000 yards and 30 touchdowns this year. That's a great quarterback year, and he's doing it as a running back. Okay,
so
when
you're
you have certain players like that, it's
future
different.
To break all-time records right now. Listen,
you didn't sacrifice the future with Emmitt Smith. Look at Frank Gore, Emmitt Smith, Adrian Peterson.
Only want to protect him because he's white.
No, hold on. What do you want to bet that all those players that you just mentioned didn't average as many touches as Christian is right now? You don't have to be touching the ball every play in order to be a top-level running back.
I know LaDainian did. I know LaDainian Tomlinson did.
But listen, do you realize that no other team lets their primary running back touch the football as much as we do? Like,
and no
come
other
on,
team
don't.
has a
But
running
listen,
back like we do.
Okay, but all right, but what? So Ezekiel Elliott isn't a badass. Alvin Kamara. Listen, I'm not putting. You're making this a different argument than what I'm actually saying. No one is questioning the greatness of McCaffrey, but you have to have some foresight here. You are going to damage the body of the young man before his career even starts. I mean, running backs don't last very long, and you're going to run him into the ground before he has a chance to be even
before he gets a chance to sign a deal with another team. Duh.
I was gonna say, just tell that to Frank Gore, Emmitt Smith, Adrian Peterson, all those guys that you know they're being used too much. Or they?
All right. Let's move on to. I think there's only like 2 calls left. Have we heard this one?
What up, fellas? This is Joe from Oregon.
We heard that one, right?
I love.
Did we hear this one?
Could you imagine the scrutiny if Christian McCaffrey did score and then we fail on the 2-point conversion because we didn't kick a field goal earlier in the game?
How crazy is that? Yeah.
There has to come, like, I've been saying this for the past 2-3 seasons. Why do we still have Ron Rivera? I'm almost to the point
so
where
is Cody.
Cody's been saying that. And Cody up on that one.
There, like,
Guys, everybody
we're
can
in this league
hug
to win
now.
Super Bowls. We're not going to win a Super Bowl under Ron Rivera.
No.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I don't think so either.
So then if we're not going to win a Super Bowl under Ron Rivera, then we have to even say that even if we end up, going 9-7, 10-6, and just narrowly miss the playoffs, that should not be enough to save Ron Rivera's job, because that means you will accept the mediocrity.
That's why Cody's loved by everybody, because he's right at the end of the day. Sadly, I think he might be right.
Sadly,
like
yeah,
said,
I mean,
from a certain point of view,
I wish that the answer was on the roster. I do. I wish. I really want to see Ron. I want to see Cam and Norv together. That's something I really wanted to see, to prove to people that that Norv was still had what it took, but it's not happening right now. And I mean, this was a tough. I tell you this is that I didn't think that us losing in Green Bay would be the nail in Ron's coffin.
It's not either.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't feel like, even though you guys might be right and wooing us over, I don't think this is the game that proves it. I do think the 49ers game a lot of these games where we just haven't been able to seize the moment continue to be it for Ron. You know, is that at the end of the day, that is like, man, there's got to be one person that you can change in the equation, and maybe that is it.
No.
All right, let's. I think we've covered this game pretty exhaustively for like 2 or 3 hours. Let's do this. Let's just do one little bit. Let's dab on somebody.
I just like doing it, man. Dab on them folks. Dab on them folks. And that dab on them folks. They like seeing it. Tell me what to do. Dab on them folks.
All right. Who's your player of the game? Cody, I'll let you go first.
You know what, man? I'm going to take the low-hanging fruit, man, just because I can. And actually, no, you know what? I'm going to call audible. I'm dabbing, believe it or not, on Troy Aikman.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why I'm dabbing on Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman laid it out so plain during that broadcast. How look at Carolina, you just run the ball on him. There's no gap awareness. Man, he was calling us out on prime time, and I'm hoping that it allowed everyone else, and maybe people who aren't fans of the Panthers that have been defenders of Ron Rivera, to see what we're dealing with in our head coach and why he isn't the answer going forward. And I think Troy Aikman did just that. I'm dabbing on Troy Aikman. Dab on them folks, Troy.
Big shout out to the Den Mama, Susan Deans. We love you, keeping us all in line. CK, who you got? Who's your player of the game in this disheartening or this loss for us?
Man, I'll tell you what. I gotta say the referees, they can dab on them folks, I suppose.
They did really help us. They helped us just as much as they hurt us.
They came into this game really wanting to meet a quota, and like a ticket quota for a police officer that they say doesn't exist.
It's the end of the month, huh?
Yeah.
It's the holiday season. They say, oh, we need to get we're not calling enough penalties. We need to get some extras in here, and so referees can dab on them folks because they definitely got their fair share of penalties in that warranted or not. And then, but on the other side, they also didn't call a lot of penalties that should have been called. So
they gave us a little love at the end. I felt like the refs knew they were so bad they had to make a bad call on the other side of the ball. So they were doing some makeup calls on us.
Overcorrecting like they did for the Green Bay Packers, apparently.
Think about this. They picked that last offsides. There's a couple of calls that we got at the end that really kept us in there.
That should have been an intentional grounding one.
Right? Yeah, exactly. All right, so we're dabbing on the refs. It's critical. All right, Greg, what you got?
I'm going to
go ahead. My pick can make it through everybody.
All right, I got two real quick. I'm gonna dab on DJ Moore, man. My biggest fear with DJ,
well deserved. Well deserved.
He had a great game, great last two games. He's really coming along. My biggest fear with him is always ball security, and he's done a really good job of that the last few weeks. Mm-hmm. I think if he can continue to do that, he's going to be one of the NFL's top real wide receivers, and dab on him. I also want to dab on vets. Tomorrow is Veterans Day. I'm a veteran. And to all my other brothers out there that, sacrifice or, gave up your lives or plan to give up your lives or agreed to give up your lives so we can do stuff like this. Thank you very much.
Salute.
Yes, sir.
My dab on him pick goes to Vernon Butler.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice one.
All right. And this is Vernon Butler after being called a bust and you want to think of all the trash we've heaped on that dude. And I don't know if I don't think it was undeserved, and I don't even think it's still undeserved. But with all of that, this man is having the best season of his career, and he looks out there playing confident. And so I say kudos to you and your mental toughness, Vernon Butler, trying to show you're not a bust, but we're busted. Dab on him right there. All right, this is the C3 Panthers podcast post-game show. It's gone on for hours and hours because you guys are cool as shit. calling in to the 252-228-5098 Cat Calls line. You got time to call in for Tuesday. You can join us live 9 p.m. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you consider buying a damn t-shirt or something. I got like 9 left of each one. I need to get rid of these jokers. Right? And make sure you give this podcast a thumbs up and share the link with one friend that's a Panther fan. I promise you, look, our community had 100 people tonight that watched for like 3 hours. Share the show with one friend. You know they'll love it. Cody Lashney, how can they find you before Tuesday to tell you that you're right and you're the most beloved member of the C3 Panthers podcast?
You make me blush, Tony Dunn. You can get at me at Cody Lack, CODYLAC. This week we have a brand new mock draft going up on drafttech.com. There will be Panthers comments and Houston Texans comments written by yours truly. And last but not least, go Tigers, baby. My Clemson Tigers is still rolling.
There you go.
And I got to show some love to my homeboys in Death Valley, man. So and just a shout out to everyone else. If you're not watching The Watchmen, you need to fix it because it's incredible. Yes. It's one of my all-time favorite comics, and the show is incredible. Cody Lack signing out.
All right. Greg, where can they find you, brother?
Man, you can find me at the Bat Daddy 52 on Twitter, and I also do another podcast. It's the Super Civil Servants Podcast at SCS Podcast 1 on Twitter. Real quick, I wanted to say, just so everybody knows on here, we're all really good friends. Cody, even though we disagree with some stuff, man, in CK2, I still love y'all, but it's like wrestling, man. There's got to be a heel to have good entertainment. So I'm that heel. I'm that guy, but we all love each other, man. We just have, we have different opinions on some things. But as far as The Watchmen goes, Cody, you hit me up last night and asked me if we did it. We do have a podcast covering the first episode of Watchmen. We're going to continue it. So y'all check us out.
I want to point you all to @Codizzle Allen. And this is the thing, is my man is 2 followers above 100. Come on, let's get him to 110, folks. @Codizzle Allen. CK, man. Dude, it was great having you on the show.
Hey, man, it's been a blast. I mean, obviously, we come in here feeling a little bit better about the situation, how our team performed, but obviously don't really enjoy the loss. But super therapeutic to be on in an environment like this, to be able to have these types of conversations and hear how the how the Panthers fan base really feels about things. And it's something that I think everybody needs to benefit from. It's just a matter of getting the word out. I think we've done a pretty good job. I think we have a good amount of soldiers out there trying to get our name out there, but I think we can grow exponentially if we get enough people sharing this thing.
Cool. Amen. It's the C3 Panthers podcast live Tuesday nights after the game with the C3 Panthers post-game show. Go to CarolinaCatChronicles.com and buy a damn t-shirt. Subscribe, share the link, donate if you want. And if not, give us a thumbs up. And hell, I don't even care if you give us a thumbs down because it actually moves you up on the YouTube rankings. So see you later.
Peace out, boys and
girls. Keep pounding.
Somewhere. If I can find where this goes. Boom. All right, we're done.
Well,
hey, Tony, I had a question, man.